I'm gonna jump on and talk to Mitch and see if anybody else jumping on. If not, we do some research today. EA. What I do?
Give me a second. I'm about to call for a smoke.
You're all good, brother. A-okay. About to go for a smoke. 82 euro. Donald Trump's $3.3 trillion tax and spending cut bill passed Senate Tuesday after a furious push by Republican leaders to persuade holdouts back to the legislation and hand the president a political win with a 51-50 vote to pass the bill, with three Republicans, Susan Collins of Maine, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Rand Paul of Kentucky, defying Trump to oppose the legislation. Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote. The package, which now goes to the House, combines $4.5 trillion in tax cuts with $1.2 trillion in spending cuts. That's so funny. So yeah, just this right here, $3.2 trillion extra, just in that part. This is a team effort, Senate Majority Leader John Thune told reporters immediately following the report or vote on Tuesday. In the end, we got the job done. Bloomberg dollar spot index climbing to a sessions high after the bill passed passed the Senate. It was falling from 6 months through the end of June. It is a great bill that everyone sees something in. Republicans say passing the bill will help them maintain their congressional majorities in the midterm. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, dude. You're gonna get stomped in the midterms if this passes. Jesus. What's happening, brother?
Oi, what's up?
Not
Oh,
much.
not shit.
Yeah, same here.
Wow.
Started.
Yeah, fucking by Space Marines too. Yeah,
Did you?
that game is fucking brutal.
Yeah, that's fucking dope.
I love it. I love it. The execution scenes, the gameplay, everything is worth its weight in gold with the Space Marines 2. And then I also bought Lego Brawls, which is, I think your kids would like it. It's a online, is like, you ever play Stick Fighter?
Nope. Stick Fighter. What? How
Uh,
old is it? Is it an old game?
no. Stick Fighter is pretty new. Lego Brawl is basically you join a lobby. It's online only. A bunch of other players. It's a simple Super Smash Brothers. Basically, it's super simple, and there's different objectives like collect gold coins, capture the point, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
makes the
I
game?
like it. Who does make that?
Oh,
Lego
Legos.
Games is the publisher.
All right,
Yeah,
this is probably
and
Lego.
Red Games Co. is the developer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
so Lego got it. Yeah, it has the Lego emblem on it.
that's fucking dope. Yeah, I've only played a couple
It's
Lego
pretty fun.
games,
Yeah, same here.
so I mean, it kind of reminds me of Minecraft somewhat. Not
Oh yeah,
completely,
it
but
was our Minecraft. It was our Minecraft.
kinda, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, if you think about it, it was our physical Minecraft. Blocks, voxels,
Yep. I mean, yeah,
and
Legos is Minecraft just in real life if you want to think about it like that.
yeah, it really is. And then I also bought finally got around to buying Helldivers 2.
Hell, I've never played it, but I've heard about it. You like that game?
Oh, it is a good game, but just a fair warning: anything that can kill you in real life will kill you. That includes drop ships, drop pods, enemy mechs. Anything will
Yep.
kill you.
Yep. Uh,
It is It's hardcore in that sense, but when enemies come to damaging, it depends on skill level.
Mm-hmm. You play Breath of the Wild or no?
Like I said, I played Breath of the Wild up to like the 3rd dungeon,
Oh, yeah,
and then it's
that's
like, oh, you're still not in the open world. Yeah, fuck this, I'm done.
What?
Just
It
the
is an
opening
open
was
world
so
game.
slow.
It is slow. That's
No, the opening until you get the parachute, the glider, or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
the tutorial
so
area.
fucking slow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
remember
didn't give it a fair chance.
The first time I played, I didn't really realize the game, so I sucked. So I kept dying. So like, it took me forever to get off the Great Plateau.
Oh yeah, and then I bought Buckshot Roulette.
Mm,
It's exactly what it sounds. It's such a great. It's like $2.
really?
Yeah, it's such a great game. It's Russian roulette. There are blank shells and live shells, and you can play in multiplayer too, which is great.
Hell yeah.
And it's a game of, obviously, about statistics and also using your items. It's a very good strategy game. I would say it's a strategy game overall. Pretty fun. And I bought Cassie Chill, which is just an idle game, I guess. It's pretty fun because you can play and just do a mini game of catching fish. I think that's all I bought that I didn't refund. Oh no, Celico I did. Old school MMO, or not. Built off the Doom engine, surprisingly. And then Skatebird. Tony Hawk, but Burbs.
Right. Fucking. Yeah. Nothing new. Besides, I this morning I was watching the voting shit, and then we failed.
Oh yeah, how are you feeling? What do you think your next thing is about the big beautiful bill? Big beautiful bill, my ass.
Look, I'm gonna start reading into it. Well, I'm gonna start reading the reconciliations because it changed
right.
again. But yeah.
Here's the thing. All right, so I went in because I forgot to grab my toothpaste and toothbrush from the house because the camper was gone. Anyways, point being, watching some right-winged, extreme white-winged, always blaming Democrats for everything. For sure, obviously, we're the bad guys. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, the big beautiful bill just passed. I fucking cranked my head. I'm like, what?
You know, it's fucked up too. The worst thing about all of this per se, so the three Republicans switched, right? So it made it 50-50.
Didn't they read that out? Did they read that out?
16 hours straight they had to sit there and listen to it being read to them.
And it passed the Senate. It passed the Senate!
Yeah. Well, that has to go back.
Dude,
it goes back to the House again. So
it goes back to the House.
Yeah, because they have to. Oh. It's called a reconciliation. So the House passed a version of the big beautiful bill. They sent it to the Senate. The Senate's like, yeah, we don't like this part. We want more of this, more of this, more of this, whatever, right? So they changed it up a little bit. They just voted on that. So now it has to go back to the House. The House has to agree on this. And if they make another reconciliation, that has to go back to the Senate, back to the House. Like, it can go back and forth unlimited amount of times, technically. So,
good. Like, hopefully it stays in limbo.
That's kind of what.
Hopefully it stays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna vote on it on Wednesday, I think. The House.
Oh, hopefully.
But
because I swear to Wally. No, if this shit doesn't change soon, I'm literally gonna blow my fucking brains out.
Well, you know what? The thing is, you don't even have to do it. You won't have health insurance, so you they'll let you die just naturally.
Yeah,
that's what's fucked.
I mean, obviously, that's plan one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, so yeah, I'm gonna start reading more and do it. But the worst thing is, so like I said, so they had 3 Republicans say no, right? The senator from Alaska, what's her name? Hold on, I'll double check her name because this bitch has said multiple times that she's literally scared to vote against Trump because she knows that like it's political suicide and all this shit, right? There's a lot of pressure.
Who gives a fuck?
I know.
It's political suicide to go with him. Hey, U.S. Marshals, how about you do your job and arrest him?
Lisa Merowitsky, whatever. But she said multiple times that she fucking doesn't like the bill that it's bad for her, right? So Trump and them literally went
Yeah.
out of the way in the last minute to take her state out of the big beautiful bill so they get her vote.
Really?
So like all like the AI, like you can't touch it for 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Like all these little stipulations, they literally said Alaska's exempt from it to get her vote. So like she doesn't have to look, so she doesn't have to look bad voting for it because she's like, well, it didn't hurt my constituents. They didn't, like even though it hurt the rest of us.
Wally,
Hmm.
if this shit continues, I'm not gonna live past this birthday.
Dude, you'll be fine.
You're gonna hear me on the news.
That don't be going. Don't. I don't want to see you be crazy.
Darkness.
The thing is, no matter what, we got 1 year from basically right now to hopefully win the midterms, and then we can put all the checks about. Because the thing is,
You can't wait.
it's not,
It needs to happen. It needs to happen. U.S. Marshals needs to step in and fucking take his ass to fucking straight up fucking prison.
I wish
He
they would.
is in legitimately violation of every ethics of everything.
Every fucking norm. I'm well aware, dude. He's literally against every norm. He's like, oh, why do we do this? Well, because it's been the way we've been doing it for 100 years. I'm not gonna do that. It's like, why?
It's
dude?
called progressivism. It's called progressivism.
I wish he was progressive. He's not.
Yeah. Because I guarantee you've studied ancient Rome a little bit, ancient Greece.
Yep.
It's whenever the leaders get stagnant and start doing the same shit, that's when the collapse of civilization. As long as you start being progressive, civilization will continue. You got to be progressive.
I think it's funny because like Republicans, like we all love Teddy Roosevelt. Like even Republicans, they admit that he.
Oh
was
yeah.
like,
No
like,
shit. Yeah.
but,
Open
like,
national parks. Yes.
But I'm just saying, but like legitly, he was a progressive. Like he was a progressive party. Like
Yeah.
Like so, how did you guys like it when he was progressive? But now that we're trying to progress now in today's world, it's not good. Like I don't get the logic.
It's the media. It's the Fox News. It's all about Fox. Fox
Like I said,
needs to be destroyed.
well, that's part of it too. Like I said,
I need to learn how to build a nuclear bomb and drop it on Fox News. Yeah, good luck if I ever fuck with any radioactive material.
Right, dude.
Yeah, I'm too smart to do that. No, I'm too smart to do that.
Right.
Yeah. But it would be nice to just get rid of Fox once and for all. One fell swoop.
Like I said, you could draw a straight line from the Confederates and all these people right to MAGA.
Yep.
Like you could draw a direct. It goes from here to
Yep.
here to here to here. You can see all the leaders,
Yep,
all the people.
Exactly. I don't stand for fascism whatsoever. Oh, you're a socialist. Oh, that's the big other buzzword.
I know,
Oh,
of
you're a
course
socialist.
It's always been that.
It's like, yeah, I'm a socialist because I like caring about other people. Hence, socialism. You're social.
Like I said, I'm capitalist, but like I like the social safety nets. Like I said, it's just you gotta put checks and balances on because capitalism gives us good things. So like I do like it, but like it needs to be regulated.
It does.
You can't just fucking have unlimited.
It sparks innovation.
Yes, and that's why I hate when people say that we need to start making like raw materials and shit. It's like, no, we're the innovators, dude. Like, let us build things. Like, you hand us the cheap shit, and we make the cheap shit become really expensive, awesome things. Like, that's our job as America, and we're trying to go backwards.
And then we ship it back, over to make it cheap again.
Later on, later on.
It's all tooling and figuring out. Like the mold for the original iPod Touch. Cost over $300,000.
I bet, dude. All these things.
Yeah, just get in the mold because it's machine tooling.
Mm-hmm. That's why I try to stress people like a lot of the big innovations, especially like medicine and science and all this shit, is paid by the government. Like, because you know why? Yeah. Because like if I'm Jeff Bezos, whoever, right? I'm not gonna put $1 trillion into something. I'm not sure it's gonna make money. But the government can, and then it does make money. Then everyone around the government / all the big corporations do make money. But you need that big chunk of money to fucking start the program up. Like if you want to start AI programs or you want to start fucking go to Mars, whatever. That's government money.
NASA has been guarded like a motherfucker. Now they're relying on privateers.
Not even.
It's like.
The thing is,
I'm not looking for privateers on their own missions. I'm looking for like scientific, like what's going to happen with 0G. Like like Simpsons put it, we don't know what happens in zero G when ants can sort tiny screws. It's like still it has applications. It still has applications like that tiny little thing. It still does. We don't know what the applications are, but still, it's an observation.
What's it called?
Oh,
Trump, because Elon is talking shit about Trump again. You know, about the big beautiful bill.
oh yeah, it's one back. Yeah, because he stole all of our shit. Yeah, go
True.
fuck yourself, you
No, but it's
fucking
funny.
Nazi.
Now
Fuck.
Trump is now threatening to send Doge on him and deport him now.
Good.
It is. It's just
At
funny.
least there will be one good thing he does. The first very good thing he does in his life.
It just
I
makes
mean,
me funny. Makes me laugh.
a decent role he played was in Home Alone 2.
Yeah, he's over there. That's it.
But still, he was addicted to McDonald's then. Where's McDonald's? Over that way.
Hmm.
You see McDonald's in the background. It's like, yep, he's addicted.
Dude, of course it is. Well, all right, listen. Let me.
I'm just waiting.
I'm gonna read you. I'm gonna read you what the senator from Alaska, who was the casting vote to make it happen. This is what she said. This was one of the hardest votes I've ever taken during my entire time at Senate. My goal throughout the reconciliation process has been to make a bad bill better for Alaska, and in many ways, we've done that. In addition to extending pro-growth tax cuts and larger child tax credits and no tax on tips or overtimes, which is a lie. That the no tax on tips is only for 2 years. People act like it's forever. It's only for 2 years. So that's the bullshit. We made an historic investment in modernization of the Coast Guard, enhanced our border security and national defense, funded aviation safety, including the AWAS and VWAS systems that will save lives, and provided tax exemption status to the community development quota programs to help Western Alaskan communities establish a sustainable economy, among other provisions. We have
Really?
That's her first paragraph. All right, hold on. We have advanced new opportunities for resources development in the MPRA, the Coastal Plain, and Cook Intel that will help create jobs and increase the share of revenue our states receives. Oh, so yeah, Alaska's like we don't make no money, so we need states to share money with us, which is again that is a democratic process.
Alaska doesn't make any money?
Not really. They don't have,
Maybe.
they just have no. They have no.
Well,
They have only 800,000 people there, so you got to think how big it is and all that shit. Like they just don't have enough
but a bunch
tax
of
revenue.
natural resources. Yeah, tax revenue, but natural resources. Alaska's chock full of them. Plus
Yes, but
halibut.
Halibut, yes,
Not,
but we don't do their oil as much because it's all fucking
Wally.
federally protected land. A lot of it is as of right now, unless Trump goes
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Wally,
Yeah.
go give me some halibut. I want some halibut.
Dude, halibut. I haven't had halibut in fucking forever.
I know. I want to
remember.
catch a halibut.
I know. I was telling somebody I would love to go deep sea fishing. Something I haven't done.
Oh yeah, I sit in the fighting chair for hours. Like, fuck that. Nope. You're coming with me.
Right.
Nope.
It's a battle.
Catch a fucking little tiger shark.
Dude, the thing is, all those fish are like 50 to 100 pounds, so even the small ones are huge.
Oh yeah, and they're fighting. You gotta think. They know how to swim, and water's much thicker than air is.
For sure.
So they got a much more great advantage, just physics wise. You just gotta wear them out.
Yep. So here's where she goes. This chick goes to address the bill's shortcomings. We have helped our communities through a $50 billion rural health fund. This will mean hundreds of millions. I know, because they're gonna lose all. That's the thing. All these small town people are gonna lose all their hospitals. Like, oh my.
Yeah.
I think about like my cabin. My cabin, like the closest hospital is like 35 minutes away. So you're already fucked if you have like a real problem. Let alone if that place closed. The next one's like St. Cloud or whatever. You know, like it's really fucking far away.
Damn. Yeah.
Like that becomes like an hour and a half.
Also, I'm dealing with I'm trying to get on the right meds, and they decided to cut that, and you know how expensive psych meds are. It's like, great, I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Stupid.
Buckshot roulette, but all red shells. All my turn. 'Turn. 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 ' I promise.
Like,
It's like you don't fuck with people with mental health issues.
yeah, health is a big one for sure, and which is funny because again, all these dummies that think that they're getting gains out of it. It's like, okay, let's say you make
No, you're not.
Well, I'm just saying, let's say you make $100 extra every paycheck, which sounds cool. Like I made $100 extra, cool. Well, but now
Cool.
you have to pay this much more in fucking medical bills and shit. Like, are you really making more
140
money?
on
Like,
medical bills.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you spend now $250 extra a month in medical bills, you lost 150. It wasn't like you gained. That's what I'm saying. These people don't realize.
It's capital. This is end stage capitalism right here.
Mm-hmm.
They want to turn us. Did I ever show you Corporate Avenger, the band?
Is that not the Cannibal Corpse one, right? Or not the whatever?
No, no,
Then I don't think so.
no. Christians murder Indians. Christians murder Indians. Yeah, I fucking absolutely fucking hate religion in any
Religion?
standpoint. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
hate
mean,
religion too.
well, as I said before, but Buddhism is not a religion; it's a spirituality. Because you ain't
Sure.
you're not praying to one deity. You're trying to better yourself, trying to meditate, enlighten yourself.
Right.
There's a
There's some good
mentor.
to it, like
There's a
like a lot of
mentor.
religions in general. Like there is good to it. It's
Yeah,
just how serious and how
yeah,
you take it.
yeah. Ugh. Not Christianity. There's nothing good about that. I've read
Not much.
Genesis, and that was enough. That was enough. Let's see. There's rape, incest, date rape. There was mass murdering.
Yep.
What else was there in there?
Literally
And
everything.
okay.
How about
I'm a Christian. I love to help. Oh, you're a black fellow. I can't help you because I'm a racist and I'm like, it's everybody, you dumb cunt. Oh my god, I hate this
I
damn
just
town.
listened to
Dude,
this
I
chick.
need to.
Hold on. What's her
Yeah,
name?
I need to move out
There was a
of
big.
Menominee.
Hold on, Lauren was her name. Lauren Jorgensen. She has a video. Hold on, where is it? I'll share it with you in a second.
Hi, Charles.
You'll appreciate this. Hold on. Share your screen. All right, you can. Let me know when you can see it, Mitchell. Oh. Yep, I did sell it.
They just aren't bad. They're not super bad. Damn, she got big areolas.
You can see it then?
Yeah.
All right, ready. Here you go.
My name is Monty. I'm a former alt-right Christian nationalist. I grew up under Republican politicians, attended Christian schools my whole life, went to Liberty University and graduated, and also studied theology in Israel. You left this comment on a video about Alligator Alcatraz, which I'm going to call Alligator Auschwitz because none of these people have committed violent crimes and none of them have had due process. But this is a concentration camp in the Everglades that will have people in tents with no AC and 105-degree Florida heat. They will not have reliable food and water. And not only are you sick fucks selling merch, but your governor has also bragged about the fact that his security is that if anyone escapes, they'll be eaten by alligators. But you say you're a Christian, so why don't we just take a little gander at what the Bible has to say about that? And I'm going to start with Jesus because that's who you say you follow. Matthew 25, verse 44, they will also answer, Lord, when...
What? I know, little gander, I know. Dude, she's about to roast, because that's the thing, like you were just saying, like, all these things that are in the Bible that they don't even fucking follow at all. She's gonna
Yeah, exactly. And she's about ready to be like, Boom, fuck you guys.
Yeah, it was great.
If
Yeah,
you see
he
you
is
hungry or
fucking
thirsty
incredible.
or a stranger or a foreigner or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you, he will reply, I tell you the truth, what you did not do for the least of these, you did not do for me. And then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteousness to eternal life. And in Luke 10, this is the parable of the Good Samaritan. A teacher of the law wanted to challenge Jesus, and he didn't want to be nice to people he didn't want to. So he said, who is my neighbor? Jesus proceeds to tell him a story about a man who crossed racial and religious lines to help someone because they needed help, not because they looked like them or had the same faith that they did. But at the end of it, Jesus says, which of the three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? And the expert of the law says, those who had mercy on him. And Jesus told him, go thou and do likewise. And then in Luke 11, verse 42, we're going to just keep going with this. It says, woe to you, you Pharisees, because you give a tenth of your mint, rue, and all other garden herbs, but you neglect justice and the love of God. You should have practiced the latter without leaving the former undone. So you guys love to parade around like you're Christians, but you neglect the core teachings of Christ and the Bible, which 2,000 times commands you to love the poor and the foreigner. So since you love to use the Old Testament to demonize people, you made the Old Testament fair game. Have you read Zechariah, Charles? We're going to go to Zechariah 7, verse 9. It says, this is what the Lord Almighty says, administer true justice, show mercy and compassion to another. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the foreigner or the poor. In your hearts do not think evil of each other. And I'm going to go to Exodus because I know how much y'all love Exodus. And by the way, that alligator Auschwitz is being built with FEMA funds that are being cut in the new budget bill of this administration.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're taking FEMA money and putting it to build immigration super jails. That's why they want to cut. That's why they want to cut FEMA.
Fucking FEMA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Really?
Remember how they keep saying they want to cut
Pam
FEMA?
Bondi needs to fucking die. Pam Bondi needs a bullet in her fucking head on live television.
This is Christy Nome, technically, not Pam Bondi. But yes, same thing.
I don't care. Both of them. Every
They're the
fucking
same person.
blonde chick. No. Every blonde chick with wearing a cross needs to be fucking eliminated. They're all the same. They're all Christian nationalist, fucking extremist assholes. They all need to be shot and buried in a shallow ditch and burnt with petrol. I don't give a fuck. I hate Christians. Especially extreme nationalists.
If you're wearing a Christian thing, you should be able to answer like any simple question. And the thing is, they can't.
Yeah, no.
Like that's the thing. They never actually read the book or nothing. Like, oh, do you know about this part? Like, what do you like? I always tell people, like, you know, the Bible.
I'll say no.
I always tell people, like,
I know the Bible.
The Bible condones slavery.
Bible.
I'm saying the Bible is pro-slavery, or not slavery. It means pro-slavery too, but it's pro-abortion.
Yeah.
Like, so all these.
Yeah, it's pro-abortion, pro-slavery, pro-anti-feminist.
Everything.
You know, it's all these things. Oh yeah, but yeah, you love to choose and cherry pick. Oh, help the poor. How about instead of being a Christian, how about you actually follow what your book says and show your true faces?
True. Like this chick just said, like they talked about helping the foreigner and the poor like 20,000 times. There's two parts that mention like being gay and how it's an abomination. Two parts of that whole Bible, but it's
not an abomination.
I know, but I'm saying they cherry pick the two parts instead of the 20,000 parts of the other thing that says, hey, you should probably do this instead. They don't read that. No. They don't care about the 20,000. They care about the two times this book says gay is an abomination or this, and they take those out of context and take them fucking. That's the word of God instead of fucking the rest of the book. You know, like if this is all word of God, then like this chick's saying like. Are you supposed to help the foreigner and help the poor and help the
yeah,
shit?
I'm honestly done listening to her because I'm getting so agitated right now.
We already know.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's just the same shit. Like,
but it's the same shit day in, day out. What's going on? Oh, I've seen this.
Oh, wow.
That's why you wear your safety harness.
How about this? This is when people say, why do we have stupid regulations? I always tell people, this is why.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? It's all stupid until somebody does exactly what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. No. I saw the whole the actual video. He did not drop his looking like what the fuck, like frozen fear, like what the fuck, and then he rushed back and dropped the bucket. All right, what's this?
It just says moon landing's true, climate change is a fact, evolution is a fact, Earth is not flat.
Earth not.
No, so speaking of that, my one buddy that isn't here, hangs out and sometimes Discord's been talking to us. He is religious, and we fucking argued for like 3 hours the other day about this shit. And he just, it's always so sad to see someone smart act like they're so fucking stupid. It's like because
I know it's like he has so much potential. It's like, how about going on scientific instead of being religious? It's like,
well, for him,
scientific's always charging. is always challenging.
The hard part for me is because I mean, he's always been religious, but he uses religion to get sober. So it's like I'm trying not to be too mean, but like this shit's bullshit. But it's like, oh my god, dude! Like I had no problem with it. You know, like we were debating like slavery because he started out with more. He just randomly texted me randomly on Facebook like, without God, how do you get morality with blah blah blah? I'm like, oh, we're gonna go like that? All right, you know, like so I'm like I just started explaining like there's dogs and cats, they all have morality, right? They didn't come from God. You know, it's all social construct. You know, like it's socially like you get it from your family, you get it from your parents, you get it from your friends, you know, like and then it kept broadening out and then eventually he started saying evolution was fake. I was like, okay, now I'm about to get pissed. Like you're gonna tell me evolution's not real? He's like, how do we get life from? I'm like, abiogenesis. He's like, we can't see it. I'm like, you can't see somebody fucking taking sand and fucking making humans either, but you believe that, right? Like, what?
Dude,
That's why I always think it's funny. Like,
Tesla meme. Go up to the Tesla meme. Warning: if you have been suddenly had beef with Canada, it's because Fox News has turned your brain.
yep, it's true though.
What's the Tesla? Hey, speaking of which, you should get a buckshot roulette.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's fun as fuck. You want to see me play it?
Sure.
All right.
It's like a gambling game.
Just watch it.
All right, hold on. You're streaming it. All right, got you.
But like buckshot roulette is exactly what it sounds like. Open door. You watching?
It won't load up. Are you getting the fucking two blocks of going back and forth? So I can't see it. What does it say? All right, I'll try to unstream mine. Maybe it'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Trying to release the liabilities.
This game. Oh, all right.
One live round, two blanks. All right.
Yep. You always go first, so it's always shoot yourself if it's really.
You killed yourself.
Yep,
So
he's
funny.
gonna fucking cock it on himself. Really? The first show. God damn it. Haha. You failed. My turn. Yeah, I just Kurt Cobain myself. Oh.
Please,
Two, alright.
You only have one life left. He has two.
Yeah. Well. Yes.
Oh. 1-1.
Please. Be stupid. Damn it! Yep, I'm out.
Oh. You're lucky he left you with a charge.
Yeah, basically, that's what this whole game is about. It's just Russian roulette, but with buckshot, and you get items and all that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fun-ass game.
All right, let me see here. Johnson says floor vote on Trump's bill could come Thursday at the latest. So I'm thinking Wednesday.
Hope they fucking completely
Well, you know
block
what? There was a
that
video
bill.
recently where even like fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's fucking the biggest cunt, fucking said that she doesn't.
My
even
God,
think
don't
she-
even.
No, but she doesn't even think it's gonna pass.
Really?
Well, yeah, because dude, people hate this. Like both sides. I can't believe it passed this. The one bitch fucking failed us all. There was 7 guys. There was 7 Republicans that might have not voted for it. 3 did. Like I said, we needed 1 out of the last 4, and he fucking got them all. Yeah, Vance was the last person to talk to that Merkowitz before she voted yes. Like I said, he promised her the fucking Alaska doesn't get fucked with this.
I was like, I don't even understand why people hate other people so much. Like, oh, especially fucking Pam Bondi. She needs a bullet in her head. Yes, I'll agree. She is hot as fuck, but it doesn't. She needs a bullet in the fucking head.
I know.
Doesn't matter. Bullet in the fucking head. Feed her to the alligator swamps.
It's only funny because like, what's it called?
Drag her.
If we're going on Royal. No, Carnival is the bougie ones.
Cruising.
Yeah. We're not going to no bougie one. Google what's better, Carnival or Royal?
Royal's better, I know that.
Okay, so it's not bougie.
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
Really, it doesn't matter because we're not going to be on the boat much anyways because we're going to go do all the fucking going to
Yeah, all
Da Vinci's house and shit.
yeah.
Going to Europe's the big
Oh, I'm so jealous. Bring me with.
thing. Bring me with.
Can you bring me with?
I'll
Can you
tell
bring
him
me
you're- I'll
with
tell
if
him
I save up enough money?
I'll tell him
If
you're
we save enough
you're my
money-
emotional support animal.
Yeah, just
Like I can't leave home without him. That would be funny.
no, but I really need to go to Europe. I need to see some architecture that isn't brutality or
Well, just the old
American.
version. Like in America, we have a lot of modern fucking buildings. Our
Yeah.
shit's like 200 years old at most. Some of these buildings are like 1,000 years old. It's fucking crazy when you think about it.
But I'm gonna go and use the Wiz Palace and have a smoke up our back. Try to get hold of Brandon. It seems like he may be online.
Is he? All right, I'll try to.
Uh,
Let me see here. General B. Randon. All right, 1, 2. Oh, all right. I haven't seen this dude in forever. Is this the new one? In the Senate. This is the Senate version. Still 900 pages. Enhancement. Defense resources for improving the quality of life for military, defense spending for shipbuilding, missile defense. Or just whatever. I can live with that. Fee for continuous granted in immigration court proceedings. Asylum fee, a parole fee. Yeah, we're still trying to charge these motherfuckers to come over here. A fee for sponsors accommodating alien child who fails to appear at immigration court. Fee IDs for aliens in order to remove absentia. Effective. In general, no court shall have jurisdiction to review a claim with respect to the approval of a covered application or federal authorization under subparagraph BC, except for claims under Chapter 7 of Title 5 United States Code, filed later than 180 days. What is this? Expedient permitting. The term covered application means the application for the authorization under Section 3 of the certification for authorization, notification of election, and payment of fee prior to submitting a covered application. Applicant may elect to obtain an expedited review authorization of the election and identifies each federal authorization requires for the approval of the covered application with each. Courts of Appeals. All approved permits require authorization of the federal law to cover energy projects having received regardless of whether a court order subsequently remains or vacates such approval. Jesus. Man, that's so crazy. They made it so fucking long. Alright. I wonder if I can just do it like this.
Rescission Secretary 42101. Repeal and rescission relating to clean heavy-duty vehicles. Secretary 42102.
Section.
Repeal and rescission relating to grants to reduce air pollution at ports. Secretary 42103. Repeal and rescission relating to Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. Secretary 42104.
Crazy that we don't care about air pollution at ports or greenhouse gas reduction no more.
Repeal and rescission relating to diesel emissions reductions.
We don't care about diesel.
Secretary 42105. Repeal and rescission relating to funding to address air pollution. Secretary 42106. Repeal and rescission relating to funding to address air pollution at schools. Secretary 42000.
Seriously.
There it is. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, nobody else join us?
I did not get no message. Dude, literally the first, all these things, dude. So, like, we're going to repeal and rescission all. We don't care about reducing air pollution at ports. We don't care about greenhouse gas reduction. We don't care about diesel emissions reductions. We don't care about addressing the air pollution problems. We don't care about air pollution at schools. We don't
It's
care
about the rich getting richer.
I know. I'm just saying, like, how can you? It's so crazy.
They're sociopaths. They're worthless piece of shit that needs
know.
a fucking. I honestly, I would say a bullet in the head, but I'd be too merciful. I would say they need to experience Dante's Inferno, all 9 layers of hell.
7 layers of hell, yeah.
I thought it was 9.
I think it's 7.
Maybe that was a video
I think
game.
it's 7 circles of hell. Either
Well,
way.
they need to, especially, yeah, either way, they need to experience all of them, especially Judgment.
It's kind of nice. I mean, it takes forever, but you can highlight parts of the bill, and then they'll just read it to you. So I don't actually have to sit here and read it all. I can just listen to it.
They really read that bill that quick. I was expecting them
Dude,
to.
16
kind of-
hours. 16 hours it took them to read.
I
900
was
pages.
expecting them to read it like this pace.
The thing is, there are Republicans that are probably reading it, so they're probably reading it fast so they can get the vote done over. I mean,
But
technically, you can
still,
watch
you're
it.
talking.
Hold on.
You're filibustering.
They are filibustering.
You're filibustering.
Yeah, hold on. I bet I can find it. Hold on. Reading.
All I know
the
is
big,
I'm
beautiful
killing
bill.
myself.
You don't got to do all that, bro.
Why?
One big, beautiful bill
Why?
act.
The country that I once
60006.
at least liked is dead. Everything is dead to me.
Yeah, but guess what? Sometimes you need some death to have some life be made out of it too. So.
Well, yeah. Okay, are we pulling a Fifth Element, Gary Oldman thing?
Hey, man. If it worked for him, it works for me too. Just kidding.
Yep.
Here you go.
Oh, where's the guy that pat you on the back? To remove the cherry from your throat? Wham!
Rescission of funding for
Here you go.
low
That's very
emissions
life.
Here, you can
electricity
listen to this how
program.
fast I read it.
Section 60007,
Let me see. Give me one
rescission of
tick.
funding for Section 211O of the Clean Air Act. Section 60008, rescission of funding for implementation of the American Innovation and Manufacturing Act. Section 60009, rescission of funding for enforcement, technology, and public information. Section 60010, rescission of funding for greenhouse gas corporate reporting. Section 60011, rescission of funding for environmental product
Oh, God,
declaration.
wasn't the longest filibuster on record for the Civil Rights Act?
Longest filibuster? I'm not sure. I know Cory Booker just had the longest speech thing. Hold on.
Yeah. Fuck Booker. He's a fucking traitorous fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, he ain't the best. Longest filibuster in Senate history was Storm Thurmond in 1957. Yep, must have been lasted 24 hours and 18 minutes. And yeah, it's about civil rights. So there you go. Storm
I
Thurmond.
thought so.
Ooh, look at this old white guy. He's like, I'm not a racist.
Yeah, like, fuck you.
Oh, he was a racist, actually. He's
And-
from South Carolina. He probably was a racist. He was probably filibustering against the fucking, whatever.
Dude, Wally, in a certain degree, we're all racist to
Correct.
a certain degree.
Of course. I mean, yeah, that's fine. But I would still ask, even if I don't like somebody, I'd still say they should have rights.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, like, even if I don't like
Humanitarian rights.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm still not going to tell
Their
you. You can't-
culture, their whatever. They're a human being.
Yeah. This guy is.
They deserve that.
But this
shit.
guy is legitimately racist because he was opponent of the Civil Rights Acts and stuff. He talked for 24 hours straight to not have people have rights. So like,
It's like these fucking carpenter ants. Fuck off, carpenter ants. Oh, you feel like you're gonna climb on me? You little agile motherfucker. Tell your friends you got lucky.
tell your friend.
Tell your friends don't come back here.
And then did you see
You'll
Diddy
be
got
poisoned.
Diddy got guilty of 5 out of 6 trial or cases today? They didn't get him on the biggest racketeering charge. He was innocent of that one, they said.
Oh, what the fuck? Why? It's Diddy.
I can't remember why. I didn't quite read the jurors' reasonings.
Aww.
But yeah, he's going to go to jail basically for life because he's 55. If he goes
Good.
for 30 years, it's going to be 85, 90.
Yeah,
that's out,
life. Might as well just throw him life.
basically.
What?
What? Trump withholds nearly I can't read this article. Fuck you guys. I hate when they do that. But apparently he's holding $7 billion worth of aid to schools. I don't know why.
Doesn't surprise me until you like Christianity only till you tell that Trump is supreme ruler. He wants to make it North Korean, basically.
Well,
He's
yeah,
like,
dude,
yeah, good luck on that.
That's what the whole.
Good luck on that.
that's
I
what the
will
whole
fucking
parade was
kill
about.
you all.
I'm just saying that's what the
Yeah,
whole
I
parade
will
was about.
fucking kill you all. I don't know how,
Oh wow! 4 hours ago.
but I will.
4 hours ago in my neck of the woods in Elk River, they found a fucking dead body in the landfill. Someone must have been murdered. A Columbia Heights teenager.
Off of 169
Yep.
there?
Yep.
Oh, shit, up towards Zimmerman.
Yeah, that way, towards that way. Yep.
Yeah. Oh
Manny
God, that's
Collins
nasty.
was found in a landfill in Elk River 4 hours ago. I don't know who this person is. I
Oh,
wonder if he's been missing for a while or whatever, but
oh yeah, they're gonna search. They're
I mean,
gonna find the killer. They're gonna find it because that's a highly restricted area.
oh, I know.
Landfills are highly restricted.
For sure.
They're
And
gonna
they're
find the
watched.
killer. Yeah, they're gonna find the killer. I'm not too worried
Only way
about
they couldn't
justice.
is if like they dumped him in like a garbage bin somewhere like wherever, and then just the garbage brought. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a garbage bin concealed it and just
Yeah.
crushed it. And
Yeah, I'm saying like that could be the only way. Like no, if these people like went to the actual landfill and dumped him, yeah, they're gonna get caught. There's cameras and shit
yup.
everywhere.
Yep. Have fun, motherfuckers. You guys are dumb. It's either pigs, get rid of the teeth, or bogs.
I mean, I suppose if I'm gonna kill
Heat.
somebody, I want everybody.
Dog.
I want everybody to know about it. I'm not killing nobody just to
I
kill
want
nobody.
I want nobody to know about it because they deserved it.
Well, yeah. Either way,
That's the only way I would kill. That's the only way I would kill if somebody deserved it.
for sure.
I know quite a few people.
You know, it's funny too with all this. I wonder how long it's gonna take us to find out how much money Florida's losing from tourists and shit. 'Cause
Tourists.
I can't imagine tourists want to
Yeah.
go there when they're talking about doing all this
No.
alligator bullshit and all this shit. Like, dude, like if I was
Yeah.
anywhere, I would never go to that state. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm not gonna give you
Yeah,
any of my business.
they're getting most of it from the boomer pensions.
Yeah, they get their money from tourists.
Yeah. It's like, goodbye, boomers. Goodbye, Gen X. Goodbye,
You know what?
millennials.
The problem
I
is
guess.
the young kids now are starting to switch over to be Republicans. Like they won the young kids this election, teaching them dumb shit.
Oh, I will sure break another knuckle. Just to punch him in the face. Like, no, this is not right.
Yeah, we have no actual numbers. I'm reading they're expected to lose 8.5 billion anywhere from that to 12.5 billion in revenue.
Good. Let them.
Yeah. Let's see.
Good. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I'm glad. But I think I'm gonna take off.
All right, brother.
All right. Nice chatting with you.
Always, my brother.
Yeah. Peace out. Tell your kids and your wife I said hi.
Oh, my girlfriend heard us, but my kids are upstairs. But yeah, I'll let them know for you, brother.
Oh, wife. Was she a sour look on her face?
No, she's not here now, but earlier she heard you. The other day, I gave her my headphones. Like, listen. She's like, "Oh, that's what you guys talk about." This is funny.
Yeah, it's nothing sexual. It's like legit, like important shit.
Well, yeah.
All right, but peace out, man.
Peace out, brother. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. All right. We'll keep listening. I'll play my game actually though. Listen. This is Medicaid, so we'll listen to this shit.
Congressional Bill's 119th Congress, from the U.S. Government Publishing Office. H.R. 1 placed on calendar Senate, PCS, calendar no. 107 119th Congress First Session H. R. 1. Underscore in the Senate of the United States June 27th. Legislative Day, June 24th, 2025 received. Read the
No, I want to listen to the Medicaid moratoriums and shit.
Processes Secretary 44101. Moratorium on implementation of rule relating to eligibility and enrollment in Medicare savings programs. Secretary 44102. Moratorium on implementation of rule relating to eligibility and enrollment for Medicaid, CHIP, and the Basic Health Program. Secretary 44103. Ensuring appropriate address verification under the Medicaid and CHIP programs.
Chip program.
Secretary 44104. Modifying certain state requirements for ensuring deceased individuals do not remain enrolled.
Who would have thought?
Secretary 44105. Medicaid provider screening requirements. Secretary 44000.
So yeah, like Medicaid provider screening. Like, don't we already do these things? Like, you just can't fucking say you're sick and dying and not be sick and dying to get help. I mean, I feel like this shouldn't be without said.
1106. Additional Medicaid provider screening requirements. Secretary 44107. Removing good faith waiver for payment reduction related to certain erroneous excess payments under Medicaid.
Okay.
Secretary 44108. Increasing frequency of eligibility redeterminations for certain individuals. Secretary 44.
Look at that. Increasing frequency of eligibility redetermination for certain. So if someone's sick or needs help with Medicaid, you're gonna make them have to reapply over and over and over. It sounds less efficient than what we're doing now.
4109. Revising home equity limit for determining eligibility for long-term care services under the Medicaid program. Secretary 44110. Prohibiting federal financial participation under Medicaid and CHIP for individuals without verified citizenship, nationality, or satisfactory immigration status. Secretary 44111. Reducing expansion FMAP for certain states providing payments for health care furnished to certain individuals.
That's a pretty broad reduce and expansion. What is FMAP? What is FMAP? Federal medical assistance percentage. Okay. Stationary minimum of 50% and maximum 83%. Okay. So, reducing expansion of federal medical assistance programs for certain states. For certain individuals. This is a weird sentence that I don't like. That's a weird. I don't like that.
Subpart B. Preventing Wasteful Spending. Secretary 44121. Moratorium on implementation of rule relating to staffing standards for long-term care facilities under the Medicare and Medicaid programs.
Moratorium means stop.
Secretary 44122. Modifying retroactive coverage under the Medicaid and CHIP programs. Secretary 44123. Ensuring accurate payments to pharmacies under Medicaid.
Shit.
Secretary 44124. Preventing the use of abusive spread pricing in Medicaid. Secretary 44000.
What is spread pricing? Spread pricing. Spread pricing in the context of pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs, refers to the practice where a BPM charges a health plan more for prescription drugs than it pays a pharmacy that dispensed it, keeping the difference as profit. The negotiation price with manufacturers, and then the bill happens. At the same time, the reverse pharmacies at different or often lower amounts. So yeah, if you're going to get rid of that, what does it say? It says preventing the use of abusive spread. So I mean, sure, but what do What are you gonna do to prevent it? That's again, these are so broad. That's the fucking problem. You know, for as big as this fucking bill is, you'd think it'd have been very narrow and precise with what its terminology instead of fucking being so broad. But here we are.
125. Prohibiting federal Medicaid and CHIP funding for gender transition procedures. Secretary 44,126. Federal payments to prohibited entities. Subpart C. Stopping abusive financing practices. Secretary 44,131. Sunsetting eligibility for increased FMAP for new expansion states. Secretary 44,132. Moratorium on new
Sunsetting eligibility for new expansion states. What the fuck is sunsetting eligibility? Sunsetting eligibility refers to the process of gradually phasing out. Yeah, what was I thought? So slowly getting rid of eligibility for increase. What? That's fucked up. I'm just gonna keep posting all these. That's crazy. They're trying to basically phase out Medicaid. Sunsetting eligibility for increased federal medical assistance program for new expansion states. What new expansion states? So confused. That's why I hate reading some of these law shits. So fucking crazy.
or increased provider taxes. Secretary 44,133. Revising payments for certain state-directed payments. Secretary 44,100.
Revising payments for certain states again.
$34. Requirements regarding waiver of uniform tax requirement for Medicaid provider tax. Secretary 44,135. Requiring budget neutrality for Medicaid demonstration projects under Section 1115.
Okay.
Subpart D. Increasing personal accountability. Secretary 44,141. Requirement for states to establish Medicaid community engagement requirements for certain individuals. Secretary 44,142. Modifying cost-sharing requirements for certain expansion individuals under the Medicaid program. Part 2 Affordable Care Act. Secretary 44,201. Addressing waste, fraud, and abuse in the ACA exchanges. Secretary 44,202. Funding cost.
The ACA that they fucking hate, but has the pre-existing conditions that they fucking try to pretend they love now. So it's kind of ironic that they say that shit.
Sharing reduction payments. Part 3 Improving Americans' Access to Care. Secretary 44,301. Expanding and clarifying the exclusion for orphan drugs under the Drug Price Negotiation Program. Secretary 44,302. Streamlined enrollment process for eligible out-of-state providers under Medicaid and CHIP. Secretary 44,303. Delaying DSH reductions. Secretary 44,304. Modifying update to the conversion factor under the physician fee schedule under the Medicare program. Secretary 44,305. Modernizing and ensuring PBM accountability. Title V Committee on Financial Services. Secretary 50,001. Green and Resilient Retrofit Program for Multifamily Family Housing. Secretary 50,002. Public Company Accounting Oversight Board.
Okay.
Secretary 50,003. Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. Secretary 50,004. Consumer Financial Civil Penalty Fund. Secretary 50,005. Financial Research Fund. Title VI Committee on Homeland Security Secretary 60,001. Border Barrier System Construction, Invasive Species, and Border Security Facilities Improvements. Secretary 60,002. U.S. Customs and Border Protection Personnel and Fleet Vehicles. Secretary 60,003. U.S. Customs and Border Protection Technology, Vetting Activities, and other efforts to enhance border security. Secretary 60,004. State Border Security Reimbursement. Secretary 60,005. State and Local Law Enforcement Presidential Residence Protection. Secretary 60,006. State Homeland Security Grant Program.
Crazy. And that was all just Medicaid. Here's the fucking. Here's Immigration Matters, if it plays.
Congressional Bills 119th Congress, from the U.S. government published.
It's not the fuck I clicked, lady. Back to the top, make it drop with that wet ass pussy. Man, the government website sucks. Takes forever. Red. Do it like this. Why are we not doing this?
Fee Secretary 70,001.
There you go.
Applicability of the Immigration Laws.
Yep, asylum.
Secretary 70,002. Asylum Fee. Secretary 70,003. Employment Authorization Document Fees. Secretary 70,004. Parole Fee. Secretary 70,005. Special Immigrant Juvenile Fee. Secretary 70,006. Temporary Protected Status Fee. Secretary 70,007. Unaccompanied Alien Child Sponsor Fee. Secretary 70,008. Visa Integrity Fee. Secretary 70,009. Form I-94 Fee. Secretary 70,010. Yearly Asylum Fee. Secretary 70,011.
Take over that.
Fee for continuances granted in immigration court proceedings. Secretary 70,012. Fee relating to renewal and extension of employment authorization for parolees. Secretary 70,013. Fee relating to termination, renewal, and extension of employment authorization for asylum applicants. Secretary 70,014. Fee relating to renewal and extension of employment authorization for aliens granted temporary protected status. Secretary 70,015. Diversity Immigrant Visa Fees. Secretary 70,016. EOIR Fees.
EOR?
Secretary 70,017. ESTA Fee.
ESTA.
Secretary 70,018. Immigration User Fees. Secretary 70,019. EVIS Fee. Secretary 70,020. Fee for sponsor of unaccompanied alien child who fails to appear in immigration court. Secretary 70,021. Fee for aliens ordered removed in absentia. Secretary 70,022. Customs and Border Protection Inadmissible Alien Apprehension Fee. Secretary 70,023. Amendment to Authority to Apply for Asylum. Part 2 Use of Funds Secretary 70,100. Executive Office for Immigration Review. Secretary 70,101. Adult Alien Detention Capacity and Family Residential Centers. Secretary
Need
70,102.
more jails.
Retention and signing bonuses for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement personnel. Secretary 70,103. Hiring of additional U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement personnel. Secretary 70,104. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement hiring capability.
Just hire more.
Secretary 70,105.
Like, why we need to hire so many
Transportation
fucking
and Removal Operations.
jails?
Secretary
so many cops and stuff?
70,106.
People who do that.
Information Technology and
People usually hire more cops and have more jails. Usually put more people in jail and use the cops, and not for good. Such a weird way of thinking.
Investments. Secretary 70,107. Facilities Upgrades. Secretary 70,108. Fleet Modernization. Secretary 70,109. Promoting Family Unity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Secretary 70,110. Funding Section 287, G, of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Secretary 70,111. Compensation for incarceration of criminal aliens. Secretary 70,112.
What does that mean? Compensation?
Office of the Principal Legal Advisor. Secretary 70,113. Return of aliens arriving from contiguous territory. Secretary 70,114. State and local participation in Homeland Security efforts.
What? That's,
Secretary 70,000.
why would state and local participate? I mean, you're the Fed. The Fed supersedes them. It's Homeland Security. So, why would you try to put onus on the state or the local like that? I'm so confused.
1,115. Unaccompanied alien children capacity.
Oh, make more orphanages for the kids. Fun.
Secretary 70,116. Department of Homeland Security checks for unaccompanied alien children. Secretary 70,117. Department of Health and Human Services checks for unaccompanied alien children. Secretary 70,118. Information about sponsors and adult residents of sponsor households. Secretary 70,119.
Yeah, information about sponsors and their households. Who doesn't like the government in their fucking business telling you got to tell the government what your house is doing, who's doing it, what's doing it? Who would have thought? What a great idea. People just giving away their fucking rights and freedoms. So fucking... People are retarded, man. How do you read that and go, yeah, I want to give up my rights?
Repatriation of unaccompanied alien children.
What is repatriation? I don't know that word. Repatriation. The return of someone to their own country. Okay. So return of the company. So you have a kid here who's by themselves, and you're going to force them to go back to a country they've never been to, and they don't know nobody? Huh.
Secretary 70,120. United States Secret Service.
Yeah, what was that about?
Secretary 70,121. Combating drug trafficking and illegal drug use.
As he fucking pardons the biggest drug dealer in the world for a 5-year period. Okay.
Secretary 70,122. Investigating and prosecuting immigration-related matters. Secretary 70,123. Expedited removal for criminal aliens.
Sure.
Secretary 70,124. Removal of certain criminal aliens without further hearing. Subtitle B Regulatory Matters Secretary 70,200.
Removal of certain criminal aliens with no due process. That's fucking crazy too. No due process. I can't believe this is a thing in today's world where people are arguing for.
Review of agency rulemaking. Subtitle See Other Matters Secretary 70,300. Limitation on donations made pursuant to settlement agreements to which the United States is a party. Secretary 70,301.
Limitation.
Solicitation of orders defined.
Limitation on donations made pursuant to settlement agreement to which the United States is a party to. Oh, what does that mean? What? Oh, nothing, not you. Well, I know it's not me. I'm asking what, though.
Secretary 70,302. Restriction on enforcement.
Oh. Thank you. Make America win again. Silly. Are you gonna read? Are you gonna read?
Congressional Bills 119th Congress.
I hate that it goes back to the beginning. No, I click and drag section 80, 101, and I went down, 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 down. To make America win again. I want to do this into this section.
Gas Secretary 80,101. Onshore oil and gas lease sales. Secretary 80,102.
For oil and gas.
Non-competitive leasing. Secretary 80,103. Permit fees. Secretary 80,104. Permitting fee for non-federal land. Secretary 80,105. Reinstate reasonable royalty rates. Part 2 Geothermal Secretary 80,111. Geothermal leasing.
Royalties.
Secretary 80,112. Geothermal royalties. Part 3 Alaska Secretary 80,121. Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing. Part 4 Coal Secretary 80,141.
Good
Coal
clean
leasing.
coal.
Secretary 80,142. Future coal leasing. Secretary 80,143. Coal royalty.
Coal royalties.
Secretary 80,144. Authorization to mine federal minerals. Part 5 and EPA Secretary 80,151. Project sponsor opt-in fees for environmental reviews. Secretary 80,152. Rescission relating to environmental and
Rescission of climate data. That's so fucking nuts. Oh, you want to know what's happening? Or nope, we don't care, sir. We don't give a fuck, sir.
climate data collection. Part 6 Miscellaneous Secretary 80,161. Protest fees.
protest fees now? What do you mean by protest? Protest fees. What do you mean by protest fees? What do you mean by protest fees?
Congressional Bills 119.
Why do you do this to me every time, motherfucker? You know what I'm clicking and dragging. You've done it a billion times. Government AI sucks.
6 Miscellaneous Secretary 80,161.
Protest fee.
Protest fees. Part 7 Offshore Oil and Gas Leasing Secretary 80,171. Mandatory offshore oil and gas lease sales. Secretary 80,172. Offshore commingling. Secretary 80,173. Limitations on amount of distributed qualified outer continental shelf revenues.
That means.
Part 8 Renewable Energy Secretary 80,181. Renewable energy fees on federal lands.
Sure.
Secretary 80,182. Renewable energy revenue sharing.
Okay.
Subtitle B Water, Wildlife, and Fisheries Secretary 80,201. Rescission of funds for investing in coastal communities and climate resilience. Secretary 80,202. Rescission of funds for facilities of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and National Marine Sanctuaries. Secretary 80,203. Surface water.
Where? Okay.
Storage enhancement. Secretary 80,204. Water conveyance enhancement. Subtitle C Federal Lands Secretary 80,301. Rescission of Forest Service funds. Secretary 80,302. Rescission of National Park Service and Bureau of Land
What do you say? Baldy. I am baldy for just a little bit longer.
Management funds. Secretary 80,303. Rescission of Bureau of Land Management and National Park Service funds. Secretary 80,304. Rescission of National Park Service funds. Secretary 80,305.
Crazy.
Celebrating America's 250th anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
Secretary 80,306. Long-term contracts for the Forest Service. Secretary 80,307.
Like, yeah, I just don't get it. Why do we hate national parks? Why do we want to take money away from national parks and services? They're probably one of the few things that actually makes us money. From fucking tourists and shit. Like, who's going to Utah if they're not going to go visit the national parks or whatever? Like, I don't get it.
Term contracts for the Bureau of Land Management. Secretary 80,308. Timber production for the Forest Service. Secretary 80,309. Timber production for the Bureau of Land Management. Title X Committee on Oversight and Government Reform Secretary 90,001. Elimination of the FERS annuity supplement for certain employees. Secretary 90,002. Election for
What is FERS? I see you. What the fuck are you doing? Okay, no, you don't need to kiss me all the fucking time. I don't need you in my fucking face. Federal Employees Retirement System. Federal Employee Retirement System is a retirement plan that provides benefits from three different sources of basic benefit, Social Security, and Thrift Saving Plan, TSP. Includes a pension. So yeah, elimination of federal employees shit for certain employees. Elections for at-will employees. That's crazy. Yep. If you're a government worker that we don't like, we're taking away all your pensions and all the shit you fucking worked your ass off for your whole life. That's fucking nuts. Crazy.
At-will employment, and lower FERS contributions for new federal civil service hires. Secretary 90,003. Filing fee for Merit Systems Protection Board claims and appeals. Secretary 90,004. FEHB protection. Title X committee.
What is that? Where did I see it? FEHB. 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 What do you mean? Federal Employee Health Care. So file election. Okay. So government workers get healthcare protection, but not people, like the normal average people. Again, always, if you have money and power, guess what? You get the cool things, and if you don't, fuck you.
On Transportation and Infrastructure Secretary 100,001. Coast Guard assets necessary to secure the maritime border and interdict migrants and drugs.
Sure.
Secretary 100,002. Vessel tonnage duties.
Okay.
Secretary 100,003. Registration fee on motor vehicles.
Okay.
Secretary 100,004. Deposit of registration fee on motor vehicles. Secretary 100,005. Motor carrier data.
I don't like motor carrier data. And IRA rescissions. Taken away. Oh, the government says they'll match your 2%. No, we're not doing that no more. We can't afford the 2%.
Secretary 100,006. IRA rescissions. Secretary 100,007. Air Traffic Control Staffing and Modernization. Secretary 100,008. John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Title I Committee on Ways and Means. The One Big Beautiful Bill. Secretary 110,000. References to the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, etc. Subtitle A. Make American Families and Workers Thrive Again. Part 1. Permanently Preventing Tax Hikes on American Families and Workers. Secretary 110,001.
Okay.
Extension of Modification of Rates.
Okay.
Secretary 110,002. Extension of Increased Standard Deduction and Temporary Enhancement.
Keep the tax code
Secretary
the way it is.
110,003. Termination of deduction for personal exemptions. Secretary 110,004. Extension of increased child tax credit and temporary enhancement.
Nice.
Secretary 110,005. Extension of deduction for qualified business income and permanent enhancement. Secretary 110,006. Extension of increased estate and gift tax exemption amounts and permanent enhancement. Secretary 110,007. Extension of increased alternative minimum tax exemption and phase-out thresholds.
Okay.
Secretary 110,008. Extension of limitation on deduction for qualified residence interest. Secretary 110,009. Extension of limitation on casualty loss deduction. Secretary 110,010. Termination of miscellaneous itemized deduction.
Wonder why.
Secretary 110,011. Limitation on tax benefit of itemized deductions. Secretary 110,012. Termination of qualified bicycle commuting reimbursement exclusion. Secretary 110,013. Extension of limitation on exclusion and deduction for moving expenses. Secretary 110,014. Extension of limitation on wagering losses. Secretary 110,015. Extension of increased limitation on contributions to ABLE accounts and permanent enhancement. Secretary 110,016. Extension of savers credit allowed for ABLE contributions. Secretary 110,017. Extension of rollovers from qualified tuition programs to ABLE accounts permitted. Secretary 110,018. Extension of treatment of certain individuals performing services in the Sinai Peninsula and enhancement to include additional areas.
What?
Secretary 110,019.
The Sinai Peninsula in Israel. Extension of treatment of certain additional areas. So we're going to be helping the people that go to Israel? Sinai, isn't that where that is? Sinai Peninsula? Egypt, yeah. Which peninsula is it? Yeah, right next. It's a little bit west of Israel. Not a little, probably like 100 miles. Okay. So, extension or treatment of certain people performing service. So, if you're in Egypt, you're gonna get paid extra by somebody randomly? What the fuck? I don't get it.
Extension of exclusion from gross income of student loans discharged on account of death or disability. Part 2 Additional tax relief for American families and workers. Secretary 110,101. No tax on tips. Secretary 110,102.
No tax.
No tax on overtime. Secretary 110,103. Enhanced deduction for seniors. Secretary 110,104. No tax on car loan interest. Secretary 110,105. Enhancement of employer-provided child care credit. Secretary 110,106. Extension and enhancement of paid family and medical leave credit. Secretary 110,107. Enhancement of adoption credit. Secretary 110,108. Recognizing Indian tribal governments for purposes of determining whether a child has special needs for purposes of the adoption credit. Secretary 110,109. Scholarship granting organizations. Secretary 110,110. Additional elementary, Secondary and homeschool expenses treated as qualified higher education expenses for purposes of 529 accounts. Secretary 110,111. Certain post-secondary credentialing expenses treated as qualified higher education expenses for purposes of 529 accounts. Secretary 110,112. Reinstatement of partial deduction for charitable contributions of individuals who do not elect to itemize.
That's cool.
Secretary 110,113. Exclusion for certain employer payments of student loans under educational assistance programs made permanent and adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
Secretary 110,114. Extension of rules for treatment of certain disaster-related personal casualty losses.
Okay.
Secretary 110,115. Trump accounts. Secretary 110,116. Trump accounts contribution pilot program.
Okay.
Part 3 Investing in Health of American Families and Workers. Secretary 110,201. Treatment of health reimbursement arrangements integrated with individual market coverage. Secretary 110,202. Participants in choice arrangement eligible for purchase of exchange insurance under cafeteria plan. Secretary 110,203. Employer credit for choice arrangement. Secretary 110,204. Individuals entitled to Part A of Medicare by reason of age allowed to contribute to health savings accounts. Secretary 110,205. Treatment of direct primary care service arrangements.
Okay.
Secretary 110,206. Allowance of bronze and catastrophic plans in connection with health savings accounts.
The fuck's that mean?
Secretary 110,207. On-site employee clinics. Secretary 110,208. Certain amounts paid for physical activity, fitness, and exercise treated as amounts paid for medical care. Secretary 110,209.
I can get that. I mean, certain amounts paid for physical activity, fitness, and exercise treated as amount paid for medical care. I don't know what that means. Certain amounts paid. So are we paying them or are they paying us? Some of this wordage is just so fucking broad. I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Allow both spouses to make catch-up contributions to the same health savings account.
Okay.
Secretary 110,210. FSA and HRA terminations or conversions to
What's FSA? FSA, Federal what? Savings account? Flexible spending account. Okay. Hold on. Oh, I finally got one. It is a pre-tax benefit account that allows employees to set aside money for eligible health expenses and in some case dependent care. Okay. So he's going to get rid of that. And what's HRA? Why would you get HRA? Health reimbursement arrangement. So they're going to pay you back. And what's HSA? Health savings account. Health savings account. So he wants to get rid of the reimbursement and the spending to fund a new thing. Why?
fund HSAs.
Silly.
Secretary 110,211. Special rule for certain medical expenses incurred before establishment of health savings account.
Okay.
Secretary 110,212. Contributions permitted if spouse has health flexible spending arrangement. Secretary 110,213. Increase in health savings account contribution limitation for certain individuals. Secretary 110,214. Regulations. Subtitle B. Make Rural America and Main Street Grow Again Part 1 Extension of Tax Cuts and Jobs Act Reforms for Rural America and Main Street. Secretary 111,001. Extension of Special Depreciation Allowance for Certain Property. Secretary 111,002. Deduction of Domestic Research and Experimental Expenditures. Secretary 111,003. Modified Calculation of Adjusted Taxable Income.
I better use my shit before someone tries to attack Mars. 20. 16. 35 can come out of nowhere. Even though that's probably stupid. This guy here, I don't know. You should probably go down here, right? Take this over. I guess you had to fuck with this guy. Okay.
Income for purposes of business interest deduction. Secretary 111,004.
Extension of special depreciation, deduction and research.
Extension of deduction for foreign-derived intangible income and global intangible low-taxed income. Secretary 111,005.
Taxes.
Extension of base erosion minimum tax.
He's going to lower the taxes on the companies, but he's going to raise their stuff by adding tariffs. So, like, at best, it's going to be net neutral, if not probably a lot worse. And again, it's going to be worse for the consumers in general, us, the people.
Amount. Secretary 111,006. Exception to denial of deduction for business meals. Part 2 Additional tax relief for rural America.
Exception to denial of deductions for business meals. I don't like how that sounds.
And Main Street. Secretary 111,101. Special depreciation allowance for qualified production property.
Big business people.
Secretary 111,102. Renewal and enhancement of opportunity zones. Secretary 111,103. Increased dollar limitations for expensing of certain depreciable business assets.
A lot of good things for big
Secretary 111,104. Repeal of revision to de minimis rules for third-party network transactions. Secretary 111,105. Increase in threshold for requiring information reporting with respect to certain payees. Secretary 111,106. Exclusion of interest on loans secured by rural or agricultural real property. Secretary 111,107. Treatment of certain qualified sound recording productions.
Okay.
Secretary 111,108. Modifications to low-income housing credit. Secretary 111,109. Increased gross receipts threshold for small manufacturing businesses. Secretary 111,110. Global intangible low-taxed income determined without regard to certain income derived from services performed in the Virgin Islands. Secretary 111,111. Extension and modification of clean fuel production credit. Secretary 111,112. Restoration of taxable right subsidiary asset test. Part 3 Investing in the Health of Rural America and Main Street Secretary 111,201. Expanding the definition of rural emergency hospital under the Medicare program. Subtitle See Make America Win Again.
Thank you, AI. Expanding the definition of a rural emergency hospital under the Medicaid. I mean, that's probably good, I guess, but the problem is they have no hospitals to fucking work at. Well, we're only like maybe 4 pages into this fucking 900-page monstrosity. We're only on section 1200. Let's see how long it takes for AI to fix this.
Congressional Bill's 119th Congress, from the U.S. Government Publishing Office.
I knew we'd fuck it up. I knew it. You trying to fuck on me, Greenland? Thing is, he can tech 3 spots, so I can't move him up all the way. Of course, I can do this. Well, if you're gonna put 20 here, nigga, I'm gonna have to take you out. Alright, where did I lost my spot? 1200, there we go. 1112. Working families over people. Are you gonna work the same AI? Come on. Read it to me. You'd think it'd already be like set up, like all these words. The AI thing already knows. Just read it. Not a fan of none of this shit. Phase out. We don't believe in motherfucking climate change at all. And worse, like I said, this renewable energy, like, why wouldn't you want it because it's renewable? It literally makes free energy if you do it right. But here we are. We don't want to take fucking...
Congressional Bill's 119th Congress, from the...
Yeah, you're retarded, I know. From this section, it's highlighted. It's highlighted.
Property.
Thank you.
Secretary 112,016. Income from hydrogen storage, carbon capture added to qualifying income of certain publicly traded partnerships treated as corporations. Secretary 112,017. Limitation on amortization of certain sports franchises. Secretary 112,018. limitation on individual deductions for certain state and local taxes, etc. Secretary 112,019. Excessive employee remuneration from controlled group members and allocation of deduction. Secretary 112,020.
Boom, bitch.
Expanding application of tax on excess compensation within tax-exempt organizations. Secretary 112,021. Modification of excise tax on investment income of certain private colleges and universities. Secretary 112,022. Increase in rate of tax on net investment income of certain private foundations. Secretary 112,023. Certain purchases of employee-owned stock.
Limitation of individual deductions for certain states. Like, I hate that it says certain states and stuff. Like, are these the people you hate? That's always my point. Because it should be for all then. If it's something good or bad, it should be for everyone, not for fucking just one person. Or one state, one city, whatever.
Stock disregarded for purposes of foundation tax on excess business holdings. Secretary 112,024. Unrelated business taxable income increased by amount of certain fringe benefit expenses for which deduction is disallowed. Secretary 112,025. Exclusion of research income limited to publicly available research. Secretary 112,026. Limitation.
Exclusion of research income. So yeah, we're not trying to further the world or ourselves. We don't want to be innovators of the world. We want to just be raw material people. That's what we're good at, raw material.
On excess business losses of non-corporate taxpayers. Secretary 112,027. 1% floor on deduction of charitable contributions made by corporations. Secretary 112,028. Enforcement of remedies against unfair foreign taxes. Secretary 112,029. Modification of treatment of silencers. Secretary 112,030. Modifications to de minimis entry privilege for commercial shipments.
Okay, only let's
Secretary 112,031. Limitation on drawback of taxes paid with respect to substituted merchandise. Secretary 112,032. Treatment of payments from partnerships to partners for property or services. Part 2. Removing taxpayer benefits for illegal
Oh, hell no, nigga. Why'd you do that? Why'd you try to fuck on me, dog? You ain't sorry, dog. Needed the territory. Psst. Okay, dog. I didn't attack you first. You attacked me, and you're gonna tell me, "Oh, I attack you." No, you could have gone here. You could have gone any of these places.
Immigrant Secretary 112,101. Permitting premium tax credit only for certain individuals.
What does that mean?
Secretary 112,102.
Look at that. Permitting premium tax credit only for certain individuals. What does that mean? Who are these individuals? Why can't they just ever say, like, oh, big business people or whoever? Why, dog? Wow, what a piece of shit.
Disallowing premium tax credit during periods of Medicaid ineligibility due to alien status. Secretary 112,103. limiting Medicare coverage of certain individuals. Secretary 1.
Again, who are these certain? When they say certain individuals, who the fuck are they talking about? I'm just guessing it's people they don't like, right? Because if not, why won't you just say
112,104. Excise tax on remittance transfers. Secretary 112,105. Social Security number requirement for American Opportunity and Lifetime Learning Credits.
Okay.
Part 3 Preventing Fraud, Waste, and Abuse. Secretary 112,201. Requiring exchange verification of eligibility for health plan. Secretary 112,202. Disallowing premium tax credit in case of certain coverage enrolled in during special enrollment period. Secretary 112,203. Eliminating limitation on recapture of advance payment of premium tax credit. Secretary 112,204. Implementing artificial intelligence tools for purposes of reducing and recouping improper payments under Medicare. Secretary 112,205. Earned income tax credit reforms.
Okay.
Secretary 112,206. Task Force on the Termination of Direct File. Secretary 112,207. Increase in penalties for unauthorized disclosures of taxpayer information. Secretary 112,208. Restriction on regulation of contingency fees with respect to tax returns, etc. Subtitle D. Increase in debt limit. Secretary 113,001. Modification of limitation on the public debt.
Gotcha. This guy fucks with me.
Congressional Bills 119th Congress, from the U.S. Government Publishing Office. H.
I already knew you were gonna be stupid. Here, snap. Section 10001.
A Nutrition SEC. 10,001. Thrifty Food Plan. Section 3, U, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2012, U, is amended to read as follows. U. 1. Thrifty Food Plan means the diet required to feed a family of 4 persons consisting of a man and a woman 20 through 50, a child 6 through 8, and a child 9 through 11 years of age, based on relevant market baskets that shall only be changed pursuant to paragraph 3. The cost of such diet shall be the basis for uniform allotments for all households regardless of their actual composition.
Wow.
The Secretary
One size fits all. Haha, bitch ass. Took you out instead of me. So I got a higher grade. And this all he could have been around still. If he didn't want to be an asshole.
shall only adjust the cost of the diet as specified in paragraphs 2 and 4. 2. Household adjustments. The Secretary shall make household size adjustments based on the following ratios of household size as a percentage of the maximum 4-person allotment. A. For a 1-person household, 30%. B. For a 2-person household, 55%. C. For a 3-person household, 79%. D. For a 4-person household, 100%. E. For a 5-person household, 119%. F. For a 6-person household, 143%. G. For a 7-person household, 158%. H, for an 8-person household, 180%. I, for a 9-person household, 203%. J, for a 10-person household, 224%. K, for households with more than 10 persons, such adjustment for each additional person shall be 224% plus the product of 21% and the difference in the number of persons in the household. And 10.3, reevaluation of market baskets. A, evaluation. Not earlier than October 1st, 2028, and at not more frequently than 5-year intervals thereafter. The Secretary may reevaluate the market baskets of the Thrifty Food Plan taking into consideration current food prices, food composition data, consumption patterns, and dietary guidance. B. Notice. Prior to any update of the market baskets of the Thrifty Food Plan based on or reevaluation pursuant to subparagraph A, the methodology and results of any such revelation shall be published in the Federal Register with an opportunity for comment of not less than 60 days. C. Cost neutrality. The Secretary shall not increase the cost of the Thrifty Food Plan based on or reevaluation or update under this paragraph. 4. Allowable cost adjustments. On October 1st immediately following the effective date of this paragraph, and on each October 1st thereafter, the Secretary shall A. Adjust the cost of the Thrifty Food Plan to reflect changes in the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics of the Department of Labor, for the most recent 12-month period ending in June. B. Make cost adjustments in the Thrifty Food Plan for urban and rural parts of Hawaii and urban and rural parts of Alaska to reflect the cost of food in urban and rural Hawaii and urban and rural Alaska, provided such cost adjustment shall not exceed the rate of increase described in the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics of the Department of Labor, for the most recent 12-month period ending in June. And C. Make cost adjustments in the separate Thrifty Food Plans for Guam and the Virgin Islands of the United States to reflect the cost of food in those states, but not to exceed the cost of food in the 50 states and the District of Columbia, provided that such cost adjustment shall not exceed the rate of increase described in the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics of the Department of Labor, for the most recent 12-month period ending in June. SEC 10,002. Able-bodied adults without dependents work requirements.
Okay.
A. Section 6.0.3 of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008 is amended to read as follows. 3. Exception. Paragraph 2. Shall not apply to an individual if the individual is A. Under 18 or over 65 years of age. B. Medically certified as physically or mentally unfit for employment. C. A parent or other member of a household with responsibility for a dependent child under 7 years of age. D. Otherwise exempt under subsection D. 2. E. A pregnant woman. F. Currently homeless. G. A veteran. H. 24 years of age or younger and was in foster care under the responsibility of a state on the date of attaining 18 years of age or such higher age as the state has elected under Section 475, 8, B, i.e., of the Social Security Act, 42 U.S.C. 675, 8, B, i.e., or I, responsible for a dependent child 7 years of age or older and is married to, and resides with, an individual who is in compliance with the requirements of paragraph 2. B. Sunset provision. The exceptions in subparagraphs F through H shall cease to have effect on October 1, 2030. SEC 10,003. Able-bodied adults without dependents waivers. Section 6.0 of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2015, is amended 1, by amending paragraph 4A, to read as follows. A. In general. On the request of a state agency, and with the support of the Chief Executive Officer of the state, the Secretary may waive the applicability of paragraph 2, for not more than 12 consecutive months to any group of individuals in the state if the Secretary makes a determination that the county, or county equivalent, as recognized by the Census Bureau, in which the individuals reside has an unemployment rate of over 10%. And 2. In paragraph 6, F, by striking 8% and inserting 1%. SEC 10,004. Availability of standard utility allowances based on receipt of energy assistance. A. Allowance to recipients of energy assistance. Section 5, E, 6, C, IV, I, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2014, E, 6, C, IV, I, is amended by inserting with an elderly or disabled member after households. B. Third-party energy assistance payments. Section 5, K, 4, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2014, K, 4, is amended 1, in subparagraph A, by inserting without an elderly or disabled member after household the first place it appears. And 2, in subparagraph B, by inserting with an elderly or disabled member after household the first place it appears. SEC 10,005. Restrictions on Internet expenses. Section 5, E, 6, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008.
I guess the page is not working. What the fuck? My internet, what? My internet on this is not working. There. Wonder why. Alright, let's go back to it. Go back to it. And I'm gonna love when people try to argue with me like, you don't even know what's in it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, fucking pinpointing all the parts that are fucked up in it. I have no clue where I left off. Able body something. Remember hearing all that. Modification of Snap. Cut everybody off Snap because we don't like poor people anymore. Alright, here we go. Restrictions of internet. That's where we left off. That's where we left off.
Law. SEC 10,104. Restrictions on Internet expenses. Section 5, E, 6, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2014, E, 6, is amended by adding at the end the following, E, restrictions on Internet expenses. Any service fee associated with Internet connection shall not be used in computing the excess shelter expense deduction under this paragraph. SEC 10,105. Matching funds requirements. A, in general. Section 4, A, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2013, A, is amended 1, by striking A, subject to and inserting the following, A, program.
Me too. I fuck
1,
up too.
establishment. Subject to. And 2, by adding at the end the following, 2, state quality control incentive. A, definition of payment error rate. In this paragraph, the term payment error rate has the meaning given the term in section 16, C, 2, B, state cost share. I, in general. Subject to clause, i.e., beginning in fiscal year 2028, if the payment error rate of a state as determined under clause E is I, less than 6%, the federal share of the cost of the allotment described in paragraph 1, for that state in a fiscal year shall be 100%, and the state share shall be 0%.
Zero.
The second, equal to or greater than 6% but less than 8%, the federal share of the cost of the allotment described in paragraph 1, for that state in a fiscal year shall be 95%, and the state share shall be 5%.
Oh, thank you.
The third, equal to or greater than 8% but less than 10%, the federal share of the cost of the allotment described in paragraph 1, for that state in a fiscal year shall be 90%, and the state share shall be 10%. And IV, equal to or greater than 10%, the federal share of the cost of the allotment described in paragraph 1, for that state in a fiscal year shall be 85%, and the state share shall be 15%. E, elections. I, fiscal year 2028. for fiscal year 2028, to calculate the applicable state share under Clause I, a state may elect to use the payment error rate of the state from fiscal year 2025 or 2026. The second, fiscal year 2029 and thereafter. For fiscal year 2029 and each fiscal year thereafter, to calculate the applicable state share under Clause I, the Secretary shall use the payment error rate of the state for the third fiscal year preceding the fiscal year for which the state share is being calculated, i.e., delayed implementation. I. Fiscal year 2025. If, for fiscal year 2025, the payment error rate of a state multiplied by 1.5 is equal to or above 20%, the implementation date under Clause I for that state shall be fiscal year 2029. The second, fiscal year 2026. If, for fiscal year 2026, the payment error rate of a state multiplied by 1.5 is equal to or above 20%, the implementation date under Clause I for that state shall be fiscal year 2030. 3. Maximum federal payment. The Secretary may not pay towards the cost of an allotment described in paragraph 1, an amount that is greater than the applicable federal share under paragraph
I
2.
thought I was gonna lose.
B. Limitation on authority. Section 13, A, 1, of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, 7 U.S.C. 2022, A, 1, is amended in the first sentence by inserting or the payment or disposition of a state share under Section 4, A, 2, after 16, C, 1, D, I, SEC.
Base. Sorry. I like how we do this. What do you call? What do you call this section? What do you call this section if it's not socialism or manufacturing pricing? When you fucking literally tell people this is what you have to charge, and this is what you have to make per pound of everything: chickpeas, this pea, that pea, girl pea, boy pea. But sadly, nobody cares. Base Agriculture Act, striking, blah. Agriculture. Limited liability company loss.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
I just been listening to this fucking big beautiful bill being read to me, and then I'm clicking and sharing everything that's horrible in it, and I'm sharing it on Facebook. I have like probably like 50 straight posts in the last like hour. Just do
Cool.
like the first one was, let's see here. Well, that's not the first one.
Cool.
Rescission related to environmental and climate data collection. We a fan of that? Right?
Yep.
Let's see here. Information about sponsors and adult residents of sponsored households. So now they want people to give up all their information of who lives there, what they're doing, how they're doing. If you have a immigrant from another country in your house, like you want the government in your house and building and your all that kind of shit, you know.
I was like, come on, fucking take it, you pussy bitches.
Right. Rescission of Forest Service funds, rescission of national parks management funds.
Yeah,
Rescission of,
fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I will kill Pam Bondi myself. I will kill that fucking goddamn blonde-haired cunt. That fake Christian piece of shit,
Right.
cocksucking motherfucking asshole, Nazi piece of shit myself.
right. Termination of deduction for personal exemptions. So now if we have personal exemptions, we're losing them. We got IRA rescission, so like the government's not going to match your IRAs, maybe. You know, that's the whole
So
point.
we're living in a fucking dictatorship. Awesome. Awesome.
It's just crazy.
So remind myself to kill myself. No, I'm not even joking.
I'm not going to do
You
that.
think I'm
brother. I love
joking?
you. Here's the worst one that I ever got so far.
No.
Removal of certain criminal aliens without further hearings. It's like
Yeah, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Why?
Either Trump gets removed or I'm dead.
and
There's
they're-
one of two ways.
Well, like I said, we just
There's one of two fucking ways this is gonna end, cowboy.
nah, brother. There's always hope. Did you watch Star Wars?
No,
Did you watch Star Wars? There's always a
no.
hope.
I've done that. I've done
Okay.
that. You've done that. I've done that. There nowadays it's no.
because the thing is, honestly, because it's gonna be so bad that I think people eventually are gonna be forced. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are starting to like my buddy Rob. He's starting to talk shit about Trump a little bit. He's
I
like,
will fucking kill those Trumpanzees myself.
no, I know, but I'm saying, but like, well, some people are starting to fucking slowly turn. They're like I said, they're starting to see how fucking.
It doesn't matter. They voted the
I know
wrong
they did.
way. They deserve death.
In a way, maybe
You voted for Trump, you deserve death. Nope. Period.
Well,
You
the thing
voted
is-
Trump, you deserve death.
I mean, to an extent, maybe. Thing is, a lot of people were just ignorant, and now they're actually seeing the mask off, and they're not. I think like
Nope.
even they realize that it's not.
Nope. You had your chance.
They didn't know though, per se. They're
I
ignorant.
don't give a flying fuck. You had your chance.
I mean, in a way, yeah, I get it, but because my thinking is always that because those people won't vote for these people again because they're seeing how bad it is.
Yeah,
That's why
no
we go
shit.
in
Yeah,
long term,
obviously.
or like the next
But
midterms and
oh,
shit.
Democrats are the worst. Democrats are the fucking worst. No, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an anarchist. Actually, I'm a deathist. I wish death upon all of you.
You are fucking what's his name in the video game? What's his name? From Final Fantasy X. Seymour. You're Seymour Guado.
Oh yeah, Seymour Guado.
You know what I'm talking about? Final Fantasy X?
Yeah.
Because he wants to become
Is
sin.
that-
He's like, I have to die so I can become sin and kill everybody and shit. You know, like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, I don't want to become sin. I just want everybody to die and
but
let
you have to
nature
become-
take
you have to
over.
become sin in order for everybody to die. That's the point. That was what I'm getting at. That's where it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then,
fucking
dude,
sin.
like, I'm not even gonna read all.
God.
There's so much.
Oh my God.
But
Fucking Mount. Oh no. You just brought back PTSD with Mount
For the Mount-
Gagazet.
I know.
Mount Gagazet, where he got to heal himself.
Mhm.
Oh, that chariot.
All, yeah,
I
the three
hated
elements
that
and shit.
one.
Dude, yeah, that was always the
Yeah.
worst. And you're never like fully strong yet. You're like almost at the
Yeah.
end game, so you're not like you haven't been grinding that much. So you're not like like end game.
And then when you get to Sin and you finally beat Seymour for the final time, he's easy as fucking pie.
Well, that's what I'm saying because you've been grinding out at that point. Like that's what I'm saying.
What? Oh, speaking of which, I really want to play Final Fantasy X. Fuck you.
Like, 10? I have it.
Yeah,
I
X.
have 10. and
Yeah,
10
I
too.
have it too.
Oh, did you? Yeah, it was like $25. I
You-
bought both games. I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The HD versions
Yep.
on Steam. Hell yeah.
No, I bought it.
I
On
bought that.
PlayStation, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
But either way.
Yeah, I bought that. Yeah, I bought that the same week I bought either Doom 2016 or Fallout 4. I pre-ordered
Jeez,
both of them. But regardless, I'm so sick of this shit.
In a way.
And Heritage Foundation is winning.
the
How are Christian assholes winning? We
You know
need to
why?
fucking start burning churches. We need to start burning churches. Start raising the fires. Start doing what they did, what the ancestrals imperial
I don't.
of
Like I said, I don't know what happened in the sense of like.
Spanish Inquisition. We need to start doing the Spanish Inquisition against the Christians. Maybe then they know what the fuck that feels like. I'm not kidding.
I get it, but what happened? I don't know what happened because we used to be like we were trending towards becoming more atheists. Like we were up to 19% of atheists, and some reason we're starting to switch back. And I don't get my question always is why are we going backwards with like our thinking? Because like we were thinking like we were leading this way. What makes us go backwards? Like that's the real question to me.
One, we need a Horus heresy. You know what the Horus heresy is, right?
Like
Are you
Egyptian?
familiar with 40K? No, 40K Warhammer.
No.
Well, you should look it up. It's interesting. We need a Horus Heresy 40K event where everything just flip turns, and now we're all at war. I'd rather we all be at war than be Christian. In the grim darkness
Warhammer
of the 51st millennia,
31st.
there's only war.
31st millennia. I'm reading it.
Well, 31st is when the Horus Heresy,
Okay,
but
wait, it says
most of
10,000
40K.
Yeah, it says 10,000 years before the main game. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. We need. I'm just waiting for another Kent State shooting. I'm waiting
You
for
know
that.
what? Sadly, it's a possibility, and it's not good to say, but it is true. Sadly.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. And I'm just waiting for a revolution. Take up arms. Kill the South. Kill every racist motherfucker.
You know, honestly, like
Anybody who's affiliated with the KK any way, shape,
know.
or form,
I
it
get
doesn't
that.
matter. It doesn't matter. If your brother is affiliated with the KK, you die as well.
I'm saying that we did a good job of reconciliation after fucking the Civil War, but like they should have gone harder on those fuckers. They shouldn't have
shit.
forgave
The
them.
Sherman March.
Not even
Let's
just
do
that.
another Sherman's March.
I mean, not even. I'm talking about like after. I'm saying after we won, it was Ulysses S. Grant. He tried to like welcome in the Confederates. Like he tried to be like they're still our brothers and blah 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 blah. You know, like, and I get it to an extent. Like it was
Still
probably
American.
good. Like it was good thought process. Like it was nice and like blah. But I'm just saying like, but long term,
He tried.
They
He
yeah, I'm
tried.
saying like it was commendable. But I'm saying long term, like looking now because we're 100 years past or whatever. It's like he probably should have brought down the hammer a little bit more and been like, no, these fucking treasonous fucks. You, like Jefferson Davis, like the main motherfuckers. You guys are getting hung. Like you guys are not doing this shit's not allowed in America. You know, like, and these people like, and like,
no, it's not.
I'm just saying, like, there's certain things they should have done just a little bit harder. I think to really solidify that.
Yeah.
We're not fucking around, dude. You don't get to fucking do this shit to people anymore. Like,
I say instead of lynching the black people, we lynch those racist fucking asshole. Like, the very first celebrity that comes to mind is you ever heard of Upchurch?
yeah, I know.
Upchurch is the very first one that deserves to be hung and swung by a tree. The only thing I can
people at the bar.
the only thing I can
him.
agree with, the only thing I agree with is shoot your heroin dealer. Only thing I can agree.
I don't
shoot
listen
your
to him because
heroin
I know
dealer.
the hillbillies that like him. They're like, "Oh, have you listened to Upchurch?" I'm like,
Yep.
"Oh no, that means he's horrible." So I can't.
Nope, fuck off.
I'm
I
like,
would
"Oh,
be
you like him?
fuck
I
off.
can't-
86.
Well, I didn't 86.
86.
I just told him.
86.
I always lie when I like, "Oh yeah, I've listened to him." I don't listen to him because I already know it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be fucking what's his name, the other white dude. with the
Luke Bryan.
no Tom McDonald.
Oh, Tom McDonald. He was cool at one point. I really liked
I
him,
didn't
and
mind
then
him in
he
the
started
beginning,
flipping.
of course. But then
Yeah,
he went full MAGA like everyone else. That's like
yeah, yeah. He went
everybody's
full
cool to
MAGA.
an extent, and then they go full blast, full throat. It's like, oh,
Like I'm corny. It's like it's sad because I love that one. So what? You hate me. So what? You're so stupid. You're so drunk. Blah blah blah. Whatever the hell he says, and I'm so corny. It's such a great song, but it's like I can't listen to him because he went full MAGA, full maggot.
I know.
He
Pretty
went
much.
maggot.
I know.
It's like, oh, he's such a great.
I know what I'm saying. Like so I'm saying same with Upchurch. Like I've only heard of them from people that I know at the bar, and I know these people only like I know how they think and vote. So it's like it's not even the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I said. It's not even the voting. Like if you voted for Trump and you're ignorant, that's one thing. But like I said, the people that
Yeah.
come in that wear like his hats and his shirts and shit. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, like not you're not just like a Republican that votes Republican. Like you full throatedly like choke on that cock, dude. Like it's different.
Yeah.
I have no respect for
Yeah.
you.
It's not like it's. Yeah, it's not like where I live. They just vote Republican because
Yeah,
Republican.
I always say like something like my dad. My dad votes Republican no matter what. So like, it didn't like he's not a Trump person per se. He's just Republican. You know, like. But like I said, the people that go,
But still,
I bought 5 shirts and I bought 4 hats and I bought this. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you are full.
Even
guzzling.
still, even at that point, it's so like you should take time to look and research the policies.
Dude,
You
people
know,
don't, though.
research
I
your
understand.
past.
People should do that, but they don't. All they
You
do,
should.
They
You
should.
know?
I agree. Like people should do this, but they don't. Like,
Yeah.
People are.
Oh,
fucking
too much
stupid.
time. Oh, I'd rather be on my phone and watch the news and tell me the news what to do.
That's part of
It's
it.
that bullshit.
I mean, that is definitely part of it. It's always echo chambers. Also, you tend to be friends with who
Yeah.
you know, like Trump people hang out with
Yeah,
Trump people.
that's-
People that don't. You know, like not always, but in general.
And me, I hang out with no one.
All right, I just hang out with whoever. I don't give a fuck. Like when I'm at work, I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. When I'm at work, I don't care as long as you're respectful. I'm cool. But like I said, I let the little shit slide. But if you say something super egregious bullshit lies, I'll be like, okay, stop. Like I gotta tell you something.
Aren't you like, aren't you like damn near the manager of the house, of the front of the house, like
Basically.
bartender manager?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you get to override everybody's decisions.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, as long as you've been respectful, like I said, I don't mind. Like, hey, I always
Yeah.
tell people like, dude, like I'll talk.
Yeah,
I'll
because
talk
you like
hella
a
shit
good
to people,
debate.
but, like, don't
a
be
good,
fucking
a
like.
good debate's good.
Yeah, I'm saying don't get like.
It makes the brain work. It makes the brain think.
Like I
It
said,
makes
don't be
it
an emotional little
makes
bitch.
the muscles.
Don't be no.
Yeah.
Like I said, this one dude, me and him were having a good conversation about religion. I was just telling him his bullshit, whatever, right? Just having a good time, and then this person tried to come in and yell like, "You're saying like, shut the fuck up!" Like, you know how we've been arguing and not yelling this whole fucking time? Like, it's not hard, lady. Shut the fuck up. Like,
No, it's really
Like-
not that hard.
like we can't, like me and him can't have a good conversation because you keep fucking trying to interject and be loud when you don't need to be.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like,
Like the only time I really interject is either when I'm gonna lose my train of thought, I know I'm gonna lose my train of thought, or if it's like, all right, it's been long enough, I need to say my point before my point becomes irrelevant.
no, I mean I kind of get that. I mean I have ADD, so I mean I blurt a lot too.
Yeah.
But like even if I blurt, I'm not like you're a fucking retard. You know, like it's just like
Yeah.
okay, like I gotta just let me get this off here, and I
Yeah,
just say it.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's-
Before I forget,
Yeah,
before I
it's
forget.
I'm saying it's the way you do it. Like, yeah, if someone cuts me off, I don't care if they cut me off in my conversation. It's more like if I'm like, you know, like Trump
How
said this, and you go,
they cut you
motherfucker,
off."
you're fucking you're a dumb. And they're like, okay, dude, like that's not helping anything.
All right, yeah, that's just straight up attacking. Yeah, we're not trying to attack here.
I mean, the thing is, I always can. I just try not to. Like, I
Yeah,
always tell people like I can shit talk and be cool and do all that cool shit too if I need to. I just rather not if I don't have to.
dude, Wally, you gotta fucking hang out.
I know I need to go to Michigan.
miss ya.
Pretty soonish here. I'm trying to talk to
Yeah,
Becky,
you.
If not, I might have to
Yeah,
go by myself or with one other person. Maybe I'll. Is Brandon working now? Is that
Oh.
what he's been doing?
Yeah, he said he was doing some drywalling bullshit.
Okay,
he
that's
said.
cool. Because I just saw he said he had to get
Yeah.
up at 8 in the morning. I was like, okay, like cool. I want a different day, not today,
Why?
but just
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's good though. Awesome.
yeah, like you literally are within. It's an extra like 10 minutes to come pick me up and go back on 94.
I mean, yeah, if you want to go to Michigan, I can pick you up in Menominee.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
from there it's like
Menominee.
it's like about half. It's about halfway to where we need to go. Like probably takes 3 hours. To get to
No, I
Michigan.
say Toma.
Toma.
Toma's probably about half an hour, about halfway point.
Okay. Either way,
Yeah,
because yeah, I don't
but
know.
it's still on 94.
I know you are not too far.
Dude, I don't know what to do anymore.
I just try to outsmart people. I had this funny. I was on like the Blaze channel, whatever. One of their videos popped up, and I just talking shit about. They're talking about RFK. He's like, I'm gonna fix autism and do this. I'm like, isn't it funny the guy that's never
You
done
can't.
science? I'm just like, isn't it funny the guy that's
Yeah.
never done science is gonna tell us how to do science? And this lady's like, oh well, you're just a
Yeah.
fucking bartender. I'm like, you know the difference is, lady, I know how to stay in my lane. You don't, and neither does he. That's the fucking problem. Like, yeah, the difference is I listen to the science people. You don't. You're telling them that they're fucking lying or whatever. It's like that's the difference. And he's saying the same thing.
What they're trying to do is the new eugenics.
Pretty
All
fucking
white
much.
race eugenics.
I know.
Yay, fun. So much fun. You gotta love eugenics.
Dude, people have been doing this shit forever, dude. In a certain way, but like scientifically since like the late
Yeah.
1900s, or maybe early 1900s.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. 1920s, definitely.
yeah. Oh,
But,
definitely by them.
I'm back in my trailer instead of out in the house.
Yeah, for the
So
summer.
well, no, they took it up to Country Fest.
Oh,
That's
okay.
when I was in the house.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna step off for a smoke and I'm gonna be right back, all right?
All right, brother.
All right, bro.
Peace. I'll be right back.
How are you? Douche dog.
Watch the Hunger Games. Weak ass cashing. That's what sucks. Oh, lights down. cost share. Repeal of Inflation Reductions Act. Stupid. So much mumbo jumbo. Yeah, I'm done for now. Man, this is so long. So long to go over this motherfucking bill. Of course, that's me 900 fucking pages. Mostly garbage. Go figure. Energy dependence. Yeah, it's gotta be done. This is too much reading right now. Too much reading and listening to. So boring. So boring. Why can't we just have fucking maybe like each section be a bill? I couldn't get lucky. I mean, you can have my guys. MAGA Civil War. We all knew it was gonna happen anyways.
We are in this. We are leaning on this. And without the tax cut that was put into place by President Trump in his first term, if that's allowed to expire today, if this bill does not pass, that hikes taxes for 68% of working Americans.
Right. And the biggest hikes would be for the lower household income. So, and also the pro-growth aspect of this, right? We want to grow this nation. We want to grow the economy. And taxes are a central part of that, particularly for corporations.
Hold the vice president.
Fucking bending the knee to corporations. They got tax hikes. We got to help people, especially the corporations. Trickle down economics never has worked ever in history of fucking mankind, but you know, we'll pretend now. So fucking silly.
Breaking the tie right now, which means they had some no votes from those Republicans. This bill, the big, beautiful bill, has passed because the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, has come to the Hill more than once thinking that he would do this. And when he showed up this morning, they were right. He would be needed. He has done it. Let's listen and see if there is any audio that we can take in.
Okay. Pursuant to the order, 4 February 29, 1960, the hour of 12 noon having arrived, the Senate having been in continuous session since yesterday, the Senate will suspend for a prayer by the Senate chaplain.
Let us pray.
Let us pray. Grab some letters.
Eternal, ever-blessed God, help our senators to walk on your path for the glory of your name. Help them to walk with humility so that they will strive to be servants of the people. Help them to walk with forgiveness so that they will forgive as they desire to be forgiven. Help them to walk with courage so that nothing will deflect them from the way they ought to take. Help them to walk with endurance so that nothing may daunt or discourage them until they reach their goal. Lord, help them to walk with loyalty so that nothing will ever seduce their hearts from their devotion to you. We pray in your loving name. Amen.
Blah, blah. Wow, thank you, Gabe. Thank you. Thank you for that prayer. We needed that. Oof. Don't know what I've done without that prayer.
Talking about the tax portion. The tie of the Vice Presidential bill has passed on the vote, breaking the tie of the Vice President of the United States. And Charles, you were talking about the tax portion of this. What good does this do outside of saving what the president put into place with tax cuts that were monumental, really, for so many Americans across the country? What does this allow him to do going forward?
This is the crux of it all, really.
I'm going to have lower taxes, but I'm not going to have any health insurance or SNAP if I need it. So, yes, nice trade-off.
To be quite honest, it's the growth effect, the multiplier effect of businesses keeping more of what they earn, being able to invest that into future products.
And this guy keeps being a bootlegger for fucking corporations. They get tax write-offs. They get tax stuff. They get this. What about fucking your normal goddamn person right down the road?
The growth effect, the multiplier effect of businesses keeping more of what they earn, being able to invest that into future products and being able to invest that into employees. And that's what the foundation of the economy is. And listen, obviously, it's one thing when you say things on the campaign trail and when you hope for things on the campaign trail. As we can see, this thing is very contentious. Just your conversation with Chip Roy shows that when it gets back to the House, there's going to be some more, fisticuffs or another Donnybrook, so to speak. But, President Trump put out a post yesterday talking about the growth aspect of this. And I think that's what he's focused on more than anything else. Make the pie bigger. Make the economic pie huge so that everyone can get a chance at an opportunity. Because it's one thing to save taxes as a lower income home. It's another thing to have have more prosperity, to grow your job, to grow your business, to have a business, to start a business. And I think that's what the president is aiming for.
Look, what you were talking about, and I want to get into it, Kennedy, at the very end of the Faulkner Focus, Representative Chip Roy and I were watching the lead up, the last few seconds of that final.
You know that most businesses fail. I mean, I get that you want that. Who doesn't want a business? But like what? Like 90% plus people don't own a business. So why are we trying to cater to that?
Vote, and he said that the cuts that were put in place to make this deal, there are Republicans who, and I would assume he includes himself, are not happy about. And he's hoping that some of that, as Charles has just told us, can be kind of put back in, I guess, by the House. But the cut down on Green New Deal. And they cut some of that out to make a deal today. The giveaways, this is Chip Roy, representative from Texas, talking, the giveaways furthering the Medicaid scam of, this idea that they're not just trying to get out fraud, but they want to just give money away for Senator Murkowski of Alaska to vote yes for this. What are your thoughts on it?
So a lot of that was offsets from Obamacare. So that was expanding Medicaid for states like Alaska instead of really reforming the system. And it is, the way they're doing it, it's still a Band-Aid. It's still a stopgap. And I think they really have to focus more of their attention on these meaningful reforms going forward, because that shouldn't be the thing that kills this bill. That shouldn't be the thing that kills tax cuts. But it opens a very interesting fissure within the party, because you have the constitutionalists like Chip Roy and the Freedom Caucus in the House, and then you have the moderates in the Senate, like Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, who's up for re-election. And so they're going to push for the more moderate or liberal aspects of this bill that expand government and expand spending, which is a recipe for disaster when you're trying to cut taxes. If you're going to grow the economy, as Charles says, you also have to cut spending. And that's the issue that people like Rand Paul have with the bill.
Kennedy, do you think that it really came as close?
Yeah, because people need their social safety nets. They learned this in the 30s. It's almost 100 years later. We're acting like this is a new concept and that we can't do it. Wow. Again, why are we going backwards? Why are we trying to go backwards all the time?
It's enough, as Chip Roy, representative from Texas, was laying out, that if they would promise to give Lisa Murkowski the money that she wanted, I mean, could Democrats have tanked this in any way? I'm baffled.
What do they say about this bitch?
Think that it really came as close enough, as Chip Roy, representative from Texas, was laying out, that if they would promise to give Lisa Murkowski the money that she wanted, I mean, could Democrats have tanked this in any way? I'm baffled, because we're at a tie, so clearly it was close.
They didn't need Democrats to tank this.
They did.
The Republicans did it all on their own because they thought the more comfortable margin would be in the Senate. Because, mathematically, in terms of the ratio of Republican votes, you have more of them in the Senate.
Yeah, that's what they thought. They're fucking retards, so I don't know why you trust them. They thought they had the Senate because they're up by 3. Gotta go back.
Tie, so clearly it was close.
They didn't need Democrats to tank this.
They did.
The Republicans.
That's the thing, yeah. Democrats should have been. They should have pressured that Lisa chick. What? He got through?
Republicans did it all on their own because they thought the more comfortable margin would be in the Senate. Because, mathematically, in terms of the ratio of Republican votes, you have more of them in the Senate, and they lost 3 of them. So it's even tighter in the House. So how you go back with this to the House and come up with a compromise? Because, these are some pretty big issues. This is still a pretty big gulf that they have to tightrope in order to pass this bill and have it signed.
Yeah.
Well, and the other reason, Jerry, that they thought it might do better or easier, might be an easier road in the Senate, was because the Senate had promised all the spending cuts and all those things. But much of that, not much, but some of that got shaved to the point where Congressman Roy is talking about maybe they're not all comfortable with it, the way it's cut down now.
That's right. So now it has to go back to the House. The House has to vote, obviously. And the question is, how does that happen? Does it happen? I think there's a very good chance that it happens, obviously. But let me just talk for a second about some of the stuff in this bill that is going to help middle class, because there's been a lot of disinformation about this. And the disinformation is basically that it helps Trump's billionaire friends. Nothing could be further from the truth. Remember, no tax on tips, lower taxes on Social Security, car loans on American cars.
Hold on, can I find this out? Car loans. Hold on. Just about the majority of the face value. Federal, this will be the workers. Doesn't answer my question. Oh, he didn't take that. Oh, so I still have a shot. Cool. Not much, but I still have a shot. I don't know why he just didn't take over this area. He already has 11. What an asshole. I don't get this guy's spot or whatever. Catch. I know, I heard about this. There's a catch. What's the catch? Vote tucked away from massive bills or new tax write-off. Many exemptions promised. Was introduced and no tax on tips given. There you go. No tax on tips. The rule expires at the end of 2028, right when Trump leaves. So yeah, he's like, oh, while I'm in office. That is funny. I knew there was... I took that picture.
Those will be deductible. So you're seeing a lot of things in here for regular Americans, going to help regular Americans, and nothing will help them more than Donald Trump's original tax cuts, right? They really help the middle class and help.
Did I share it? I can't remember if I did or not.
Helps the lower class. So this is all good news. I want to say that the CBO has been no help here because the CBO says that there's going to be $3.3 trillion more in deficits over the next 10 years because of this bill. They got it wrong, and they've got it wrong for exactly the reasons we've been talking about. You brought this up earlier, that the economy is going to grow under this bill, right? It's going to get bigger. That's going to spend off more tax revenue and make our country wealthier.
Well, and the other point, the CBO on the original tax cut bill said it would cut 1.5 trillion, and instead it added 1.5 trillion. It would add 1.5 trillion to the deficit. It cut 1.5 trillion out. So in other words, they were a million times wrong, $3 trillion off. So it's really awful with the CBO. Of course, they don't add tariff revenue and a whole lot of other things. But a lot of these folks in D.C., really seem to be beholden to it, and it's easy to game. So that always boggles my mind. I feel like it's more for public consumption than it is for actually being in a realistic world.
Yeah,
God, I hate that guy. Whoever's talking is a fucking bootlicker. What a horrible scumbag that guy.
Emily, presidents want that deliverable. They want that initial vision.
Deliverable.
The president got it already this morning. He's talked all in deep about the numbers, the 2,700 gang members that have been picked up in short order by his administration, illegal gang members, suspected gang members who were here as illegal aliens. So he's having a deliverable there. This conceivably could lead us to another one.
That's right. I spoke with border czar Tom Homan yesterday, interviewing him on Fox Across America when I subbed in for Jimmy. And he shared that the colossal just impact that we inherited from the Biden administration in the way of illegal immigration, he said, will take a decade to actually clean up and address. And we talked about the brave and efficacious work of ICE agents and DHS right now, but the reality is that we have to go internally and clean house. And so what this OB3 does in the way of resources for that and allocation is really paramount, because I think right now we've successfully obviously stopped the floodgates at the border, but the reality is that on the interior front, there's a lot that we don't know, and what we do know is that we need resources for that. And I also spoke with Congressman Rick Crawford from Arkansas, and he talked about the agricultural communities. He said those are the heart and soul of rural America, and when we talk about these tax cuts, and I speak with everyone.
And then we do socialist programs where we give them all fucking certain prices and shit that they gotta pay and stuff because, we love socialism here in America, right? We love when the government takes control of the means of the means and productivity and shit, right?
What is the best for your constituents? What do your people need? It's all the same. That's the entire point, that the massive impact it would have had if this didn't pass or doesn't pass the House. Right. It will be catastrophic and devastating. Child tax credit, families, over 68%, small businesses, millions of them. So every single person affected. And the senators Mullen and Tuberville from Alabama and Oklahoma echoed the same. So it may not be perfect, but the reality is it would be devastating if it didn't pass.
Just talking about it plainly, as we often do here, Emily, on the couch. If you can imagine struggling under the high inflation of at 9.1% under Joe Biden in the last 4 years, if you can imagine price setting going to higher rates and never coming back down. I mean, the inflation has come down precipitously, as President Trump had promised.
Inflation doesn't go down. It's still up.
But the government doesn't set the prices. We're a capitalistic nation. So, there's...
Not what you guys are talking about. You guys are not capitalistic at all. You're literally talking about fucking having the government come over and tell you what we got to charge for fucking goods and services. We got to charge this much for chickpeas and this much for this pea and that pea and that pea. Soy, everything. If those two can fight. Fucking bootlicking. I hate this chick is stupid, but the other dude ain't talking is.
Those prices are still high. So to take away people's ability to pay for those prices that they've had to be buckled under and struggled under for 4 years with less money to pay for them if this doesn't pass the House, that's inconceivable. That would be punishment on punishment.
My dad he's almost 80, and COVID almost totally destroyed our small family farm and agricultural community, and it was made all the worse because it was in a blue area.
Oh, I bet, because you're anecdotal evidence, right?
In Oregon. And the reality is he now does everything himself for all of that reason. The cost cutting that we have to endure because of the suffocation from federal regulations and the states piling in. The
regulations that, help us have clean air, clean things, make sure people don't fuck around and die at work or fucking have diseases come out in their food and shit. Yep, I hate those regulations. They're fucking so horrible.
Right. You cannot afford it. We cannot afford to continue that.
All right, we're covering it. So now the bill.
That big black guy in the middle, fucking dumb.
Senator from Vermont.
Thank you. Mr. President, President Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill, now on the floor of the Senate, is the most dangerous piece of legislation in the modern history of our country. It is a gift to the billionaire class while causing massive pain for low-income and working-class Americans. Actually, though, Mr. President, I'm wrong. This is not a gift to the billionaire class. They paid for it. This bill is an absolute reflection of a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires to buy elections. And when billionaires spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars trying to elect a president or a senator or a member of Congress, they're not making that investment just for the fun of it. They want something in return, and this legislation, big time, is what they are getting in return. So what is in this bill that they invested in? Well, if you are in the top 1%, you and the class you represent will receive a $975 billion tax break. $975 billion tax break at a time when the richest people in this country have never, ever had it so good. Further, this is really quite unbelievable.
Tell him, Bernie.
If you are among the wealthiest 0.2%, not talking about 1%, talking about the top 0.2%, you will be able to pay zero taxes on your $30 million inheritance. So all of you folks out there who are waiting to inherit at least $30 million, today is a good day for you.
True.
Collectively, you will receive approximately $211 billion in tax breaks for the top 0.2%. Congratulations, you hit the jackpot. If you are a large corporation and you want to throw workers out on the street and replace them with artificial intelligence, or maybe you want to shift your profits to the Cayman Islands or other tax havens, you are going to get a $918 billion tax break. Congratulations to the CEOs of large, profitable corporations. But while the rich and large corporations make out like bandits in this bill, what does it do for low-income and working families? Well, let me say a few words on that. If you are concerned about health care, which I suspect that everybody in the world is, this bill throws over 16 million people off the health insurance they have, according to the Congressional Budget Office, by cutting Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act by over $1.1 trillion. In other words, the top 1% getting a $975 billion tax break, and that is coming directly by throwing 16 million people off of the health insurance they have. This bill, for the first time, forces millions of Medicaid recipients who make as little as $16,000 a year to pay a $35 copayment every time they visit a doctor's office. So what is the impact of all of that? You throw 16 million people off health care. You force people who don't have any money pay a $35 copayment. So what's the impact of it? Well, this is not my view. This is what the Yale School of Public Health and the University of Pennsylvania determined based on a study that they did. And this is the result. And it is almost so horrific, so grotesque, that it is difficult to speak about. But they estimate that if this bill goes through with all of these cuts in health care, if 16 million people are thrown off of the insurance they have, over 50,000 Americans will die unnecessarily every year. 50,000 Americans will die unnecessarily in order to give tax breaks to billionaires who don't need them. In other words, this bill is literally a death sentence for low-income and working-class people. Further, if this legislation is enacted, rural hospitals all over the country, and I come from one of the most rural states in America, rural hospitals are already struggling. But when you make massive cuts to Medicaid, many of them are going to shut down or not be able to provide the level of services they do today. In other words, this bill would be a disaster for rural America. It would also make massive cuts to community health centers and nursing homes who are very heavily dependent upon Medicaid funding. Bottom line is that this legislation is the most significant attack on the health care needs of the American people in our country's history. We already have, as everybody knows, a health care system which is broken, which is dysfunctional, and instead of addressing it, instead of doing what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to all people, we are throwing 16 million people off the health insurance that they have. But it's not just health care. The future of America rests with our children. And yet, in a nation which now has the highest rate of childhood poverty, of almost any major country on earth, this bill wipes out nutrition assistance for millions of hungry kids in America. We are literally taking food out of the mouths of hungry kids to give tax breaks to Mr. Bezos and Mr. Musk and Mr. Zuckerberg and the other multi-billionaires. If we understand that if we're going to compete effectively in the global economy, we need to have the best education system in the world, this bill makes $350 billion in cuts in education, with the result that working-class kids will find it much harder to get the higher education they need to succeed in life. If you are concerned about the existential threat of climate change,
horrible,
and we're seeing heat waves right now all over the world, this bill decimates investments in energy efficiency and sustainable energy like wind and solar, and moves us in exactly the wrong direction with regard to energy. If you are concerned about our role in never-ending wars, this bill makes a bad situation even worse by handing out another $150 billion to the Pentagon, a 15% increase in an already bloated Pentagon budget. We don't have enough money to feed hungry children. We don't have enough money to make sure that people continue to have the health care that they need. Don't have enough money to make sure the kids can get a decent education. But somehow the military-industrial complex is going to get another $150 billion, 15% increase. Mr. President, in my view, nobody in the Senate or the House should vote for this legislation, and I applaud all of the Democrats for voting against it. And I want to congratulate two Republicans, Senator Paul and Senator Tillis, for voting against it for different reasons, by the way, than I have. But I do find it interesting, and it does tell us where we are as a nation today, that when one of those senators, Senator Tillis, voted against it because he thought it was not a good bill for the people of his home state, North Carolina, suddenly the President of the United States went after him in a very, very vicious way. And today he announced that he will not be seeking re-election. So it appears now that the Republican Party has really become a party of the cult of the individual. The only thing you have to do now as a Republican is say, I agree with President Trump. I love President Trump. President Trump is right all of the time. Hey, that's all you got to do now to be a good Republican. There was a day when Republicans and Democrats understood that they were elected by their constituents. Yeah, you want to work with the president of your own party, nothing to do about that. But there was an understanding that you were also elected to represent your constituents and not simply pay homage and bow down to every wish and whim of the president. Mr. President, during the vote-a-rama, I will be offering several amendments, which I hope will win support. Number one, at a time when 22% of our nation's seniors are trying to survive on less than $15,000 a year, my first amendment would fundamentally improve their lives in two significant ways. Number one, it would cut the price of prescription drugs under Medicare in half by making sure that our nation's seniors do not pay any more than Europeans or Canadians pay for the same exact drugs. And number two, with those savings, we're going to expand Medicare to cover dental, vision, and hearing. In other words, instead of throwing people off of health care, we're going to expand Medicare to provide a number of services that seniors desperately need and want. Secondly, Mr. President, at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, my second amendment would eliminate the $211 billion estate tax for the top 0.2% that is included in this bill. They get a top 2%, as I mentioned, $211 billion tax rate. That is insane. We're going to get rid of that. And lastly, at a time when we spend more on the military than the next 9 nations combined, at a time when the Pentagon cannot account for trillions of dollars in assets, we are going to end.
What happened to doging the military? Like, that's never going to happen, is it? Isn't that crazy? Like, that's probably where most of our money is being actually, like, given away, if anywhere. Probably isn't, but if it was, that's probably where.
The provision that allows the Pentagon to receive another $150 billion. Bottom line, Mr. President, is this country faces many crises: high rate of childhood poverty, kids going hungry, education system in deep trouble, healthcare system completely broken. And in virtually every single area, this bill takes us in precisely the wrong direction. When the wealthiest people in this country have never, ever had it so good, it is totally insane to be offering them $1 trillion in tax breaks.
I'm guessing you were going to tell me, and I think you're probably right when you say this, that Musk bloviating on Twitter, threatening to start another party, on and on and on, not only doesn't matter, but probably, since Donald Trump loves a fight, makes him more powerful.
Well, first of all, I have to scold you and Cuomo. You look like pinheads on parade when you two got together. You're way too hard on Johnson. Johnson's got to make a decision. gives a flawed bill and an enormous tax rise that would throw the country into recession. So what would you do, Leland?
Totally agree.
I mean, come on. All right, so don't
Well, I guess
scorch
this
Johnson.
is-
He's man enough to come on and explain it. So give him a break. He has to make a tough decision.
Okay. You just asked me a question. You want me to answer it or not?
Even Bill
No,
O'Reilly knows.
I don't really care what you think.
Okay.
No, I'm just giving you a little jazz. You and Cuomo were way too hard on Johnson. Johnson's making his decision.
I admire Johnson showing up. I admire Johnson showing up.
The most
Him going on
important
for
thing
3
is
you would not, Bill. You wouldn't have let Ron Johnson go on for 4 minutes and go.
No, I wouldn't have, but I wouldn't have done.
Points, none of which were sequiturs.
And I wouldn't have done a 16-minute monologue that Cuomo did to start a show. And I'm not undermining him. I mean, I'm a boom, boom, let's get to it. I don't want to ruminate and philosophize. And so let me get down to it, because this all ties in to what you want to know. The bill is a bunch of bull, but there's no choice in this time in history. The Democrats don't want to cut any entitlement spending or supervise who gets it or keep it away from undocumented people or do anything. They'll cut border funding. They'll cut defense. That's all. There's not one Democrat on Capitol Hill, not one, who will vote for this bill because it doesn't cut Medicaid. That's a lie that's spewed out over and over by the corrupt TV journalists, so-called. All right, it supervises. It does exactly what Bill Clinton did in '92, saying if you don't look for work and you're able-bodied and you don't have a kid in the house, you're not getting it. Okay, and that is fair to the hardworking people who are paying their taxes and don't want a bunch of drug-addicted layabouts gaming the system. Am I clear, as Jack Nicholson once said?
Yeah, crystal clear, Jack. But I think what I was going to say,
crystal clear.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go to the direction of how there were a bunch of Democrats that just voted against taking Medicaid away from illegal immigrants, which should pass 100-0, right? And taking SNAP benefits away from illegal immigrants.
Of course they are.
Right. I thought that's where you were going to go, but they didn't. It was 56-43. They needed 60 votes in the Senate. I think this is interesting.
But just the fact that it was
Donald Trump has done
close.
something. Right. Well, it shouldn't have been. The fact
I know what you want.
Illegal immigrants.
Okay.
No, I'm just asking.
I know
Are
what
we
you
in a
want,
different
Leland.
time now?
And
that Donald Trump.
Let me answer.
Trump
What is he? Jesus.
He's man enough to come on and explain it. So give him a break. He has to make a tough decision.
Okay. You just asked me a question. You want me to answer it or not?
No, I don't really care what you think.
Okay.
No, I'm just giving you a little jazz. You and Cuomo were way too hard on Johnson. Johnson's making his decision.
I admire Johnson showing up. I admire Johnson showing up.
The most
Him going on
important
for
thing
3
is
you would not, Bill. You wouldn't have let Ron Johnson go on for 4 minutes and go.
No, I wouldn't have, but I wouldn't have done.
Points, none of which were sequiturs.
And I wouldn't have done a 16-minute monologue that Cuomo did to start a show. And I'm not undermining him. I mean, I'm a boom, boom, let's get to it. I don't want to ruminate and philosophize. And so let me get down to it, because this all ties in to what you want to know. The bill is a bunch of bull, but there's no choice in this time in history. The Democrats don't want to cut any entitlement spending or supervise who gets.
So, like, you know it's bad, but you're saying just pass it anyway? It's like, why would you have such a mentality? It's a bunch of bullshit. It's horrible. But you should vote on it anyways, because it's best for some people, especially the rich people, or like what? What's... I just don't get it. I don't get why you would make such statements like that.
Gets it, or keep it away from undocumented people, or do anything. They'll cut border funding. They'll cut defense. That's all. There's not one Democrat on Capitol Hill, not one, who will vote for this bill because it doesn't cut Medicaid. That's a lie that's spewed out over and over by the corrupt TV journalists.
It does cut Medicaid. You're a fucking liar.
Journalists, so-called. All right. It supervises. It does exactly.
It supervises. I mean, to an extent, if it were to be used that way, then sure.
What Bill Clinton did in '92, saying if you don't look for work and you're able-bodied and you don't have a kid in the house, you're not getting it. Okay, and that is fair to the hardworking people who are paying their taxes and don't want a bunch of drug-addicted layabouts gaming the system. Am I clear, as Jack Nicholson once said?
Yeah, crystal clear, Jack. But I think what I was going to say,
crystal clear.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go to the direction of how there were a bunch of Democrats that just voted against taking Medicaid away from illegal immigrants, which should pass 100-0, right? And taking SNAP benefits away from illegal immigrants.
Of course they are.
Right. I thought that's where you were going to go, but they didn't. It was 56-43. They needed 60 votes in the Senate. I think this is interesting.
But just the fact that it was
Donald Trump has done something.
Well, in the sense, I guess, right? If they're unhealthy and they're in your country, wouldn't you want to make them better so they don't get other people sick? Which they don't cause people to stop working, which makes the economy better, all that shit.
Right. Well, it shouldn't have been. The fact that Democrats can't say illegal immigrants.
Okay.
No, I'm just asking. Are we in a different time now?
And
that Donald Trump,
let me answer.
Trump is more powerful than ever had. Okay.
Dwight Eisenhower is more powerful than Donald Trump, okay, as president. Now, Eisenhower didn't flaunt it like Trump is flaunting it. He's watched The Producers too many times, Zero Mostel. He's flaunting it. But here's the situation.
Stupid.
It's all about Trump's legacy. He's got to get the bill passed. If he doesn't, there'll be a recession. He's finished. He loses the midterms. He's a failure as president. It's all...
Pretty much doesn't even matter. And the country's not going towards recession. At least it wasn't before Trump got in. Preface. Could be now. We don't know because, you know, Trump done fucked everything up. But oh, I gotta make this move. Ooh.
on the line for him. So a guy like Tillis in North Carolina, who's afraid to come on and explain his vote, all right, the only reason he's voting against the bill is because it cuts North Carolina's tax on Medicaid down from 6 to 3.5, and Tillis wants the federal revenue to come into North Carolina. That's it.
I feel like there's more to the story than that. I'll have to see what he says.
Okay? He doesn't care about people losing or this. Nobody's losing anything unless you refuse to look for work. That is the truth.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. You know, there's a meme I see on the internet all the time. You might have seen it too. Someone that folks really don't agree with suddenly shows up on their side of the issue. Well, this poor guy gets his photo posted. A few years back, reporters actually tracked down the man pictured shed.
President Trump knows that the Bush-era doctrine of regime change wars in the Middle East is foolish.
The American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive.
You know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million. Okay. You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
This week, we've got a new contender. The world's richest man and Trump's former political benefactor, Elon Musk, railing against Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill, a bill that is almost suicidally self-destructive to America's future. A bill that is right now, as I speak to you, on the verge of becoming law after passing the Senate today on a 50-50 tie that was broken by Vice President J.D. Vance. On and off over the past month, Musk has blasted the bill as fiscally irresponsible, full of insane pork that is damaging to America's future. Last weekend, as the Senate hurriedly marked up their version of the bill, including a provision that kills subsidies for solar and wind energy while boosting coal and oil, Musk posted to social media, the latest Senate draft bill will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country. Utterly insane and destructive, it gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industries of the future. And, cue our bald Spanish friend, he's not wrong. Heartbreaking indeed. Musk even threatened to form a new political party and to unseat Republicans who vote for the bill against their own stated principles. Quote, every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame, and they will lose their pride. It's not like he's especially about its totally backwards, self-defeating energy agenda is completely crucial civilizational challenge we face. It enshrines trillions of massive tax cuts that primarily benefit rich people and corporations, almost something between successful hoodwinking. It is wildly unpopular. And then when people are polled on its actual substantive provisions, right, like here's what the bill does, the giveaways to billionaires, the hits to programs for the poor, the sick and the elderly, it polls even worse. Right now, this truly toxic agenda, both in the politics and the
Senator Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh my God.
That's what Senator Paul said.
This one was easy. Senator, we've got the...
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska.
Senator Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh my God.
That's what Senator Paul said.
This one was easy. Senator, we've got the...
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska. And I live up to that every single day. I fight for my state's interests, and I make sure that Alaskans are understood. I work hard to take care of a state that has more unique situations, more unique people, and it's just different. And so when people suggest that federal dollars go to one of
They're just too different. selling on everybody. That's I want to listen to Rand Paul. That's what he said.
Of our 50 states in a, quote, bailout. I find that offensive. I advocated for my state's interests. I will continue to do that, and I will make no excuses for doing that. Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we moved through an artificial deadline, an artificial timeline to produce something.
How can you admit, like, all these people admit this bill sucks dick? Everybody. But why are you passing it? Why are you going to vote and pass for something that you objectively know is bad? I'm so baffled by what I'm hearing. Bill O'Reilly says the same thing. It's a bullshit bill. But you got to vote on it. Why? Why do we got to do that? Why you got to vote on a shitty bill? I know it's going to hurt everybody else in the country, but it helps my country, my country state, because I got a special thing.
To meet a deadline rather than to actually try to produce the best bill for the country. But when I saw the direction that this is going, you can either say, I don't like it and not try to help my state, or you can roll up your sleeves.
That was Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski, the deciding vote for the GOP's disastrous budget bill, rationalizing her decision to inflict.
That's so crazy. I just want to watch the whole interview. I fight for my state.
Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska.
What do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore, guys? When the White House, senators advising the president, are not telling him that the effect of this bill is to break a promise. Republicans are about to make a mistake on health care and betraying a promise. It is inescapable that this bill in its current form will betray the very promise that Donald J. Trump made in the Oval Office or in the cabinet room when I was there with finance, where he said, we can go after waste, fraud, and abuse on any programs. Now, those amateurs that are advising him, not Dr. Oz, I'm talking about White House healthcare experts, refuse to tell him that those instructions that were to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse all of a sudden eliminates a government program that's called the provider tax. We owe it to the American people, and I owe it to the people of North Carolina, to withhold my affirmative vote until it's demonstrated to me that we've done our homework. We're going to make sure that we fulfill the promise, and then I can feel good about a bill that I'm willing to vote for. But until that time, I will be withholding my vote.
Senator Thom Tillis took a stand and then took his medicine. The North Carolina Republican announcing he will not seek re-election next year, one day after publicly declaring his opposition to President Trump's sweeping agenda bill.
It is inescapable that this bill in its current form will betray the very promise that Donald J. Trump made in the Oval Office or in the cabinet room when I was there with finance, where he said, we can go after waste, fraud, and abuse on any programs.
Senator Tillis says he is very concerned about the bill's cuts to Medicaid and the impact that will have on his constituents. President Trump calling Tillis' decision not to seek re-election great news. The group chat is back. I believe the president has also talked about people going against this bill as a betrayal, which is pretty strong language. But I was just talking to Senator Lisa Murkowski last week. She's a Republican from Alaska, and I asked her what it means to go against the president in these moments.
Maybe there are people who are willing to be that voice in the middle, even if it means that, you're roadkill in the middle. That's what happens when you stand in the middle of the road.
It felt like Tillis was playing that out a bit.
He is in a position that feels absolutely deranged to me, where he really does seem to be concerned about what Medicaid cuts are going to do for the people who voted for him and for Donald Trump. And I think he's not seeing a way around that. There is no fix here other than to vote no and, as you said, take his medicine.
And hit the exits, which I kind of, over the years, probably the last decade, we've seen this purge of people who, it's not even the middle anymore. It's just, if you can't handle the heat of Trump.
Or if you show any hint of dissent against Trump, then there might not be room for you in.
So fucking stupid. Very, very sad that people are going to vote and continue to do things that are stupid because they feel like they have to. They can't handle Trump's pressure. My God, fucking pussies. Either way, I'm going to win this game, and then I'm going to fucking head out. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see if the Avengers unite. Actually, it's Wednesday. I probably will be. Most likely, I'll be on tomorrow. Either way, this guy's just dragging it out. We got this Congressional Budget Office, nonpartisan analyst of the U.S. Congress, and it's a .gov website. So like, this is like the most probably reliable, and they say it sucks. Like I said, everybody's voting for a shitty bill because they feel like they have to. Dumb. Dum dum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You about to die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, fucker, die. Do. Do 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 do. I ain't gonna eat, I ain't gonna sleep until I wanna see what I wanna see. And what I wanna see is he gonna sleep permanently. The dang side on top conquers the world. Look at all that risk points. Ooh. I'm a balla, balla, balla. Do 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 do. Got 192. All right, I got to try to go to bed-ish soonish.